Okay, it's right. Okay.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Don't know, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, everybody. The Macho. Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com. The best in the business. Say it, the Macho.
Wrestling fans throughout radio land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock. You hear guys like myself, so you gambling guys, come on. And that's my favorite.
To describe the Trash Talking Radio Show from 7 to whenever we get done is by using a screwdriver. Trash Talk Road Beat. This is will never shine. The other half of the rock and wrestling connection. That's the trashy one and the loony one together forever.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ivan calling up. I'm here to tell you about Mike Talking Trash. The trash never just there. Tuesday night, you got to listen in. It's the best around, the best in town. Mike Taylor, the animal, one after the one from the cake in the room where we can do. If you know it's good for you, listen to Trash Talking Radio or Bell.
Everybody, you're watching Trash Talking Radio. This is Mike Tony. What have I said about Trash Talking Radio? I gotta say that I just love Trash Talking Radio. You're out of the picture, dude. This is my show, and you better watch because what you gonna do when all of them explain you Trash Talking Radio runs wild on you. This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this. The Vital Idol tells you it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much.
It is Trash Talking Radio. It is Tuesday night. It is the best night of the week. And as usual, I'm trying to stop the... There we go. Hey, I stopped it this time. Oh, this is the one I don't have to stop it. This is the one that stops automatically. Oh, well. All right. Hi, Doug.
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Welcome to the show. We're definitely out there walking the streets, coming up with news stories. Or reading the sheets, whatever, reading the web pages and stealing stories from somebody. This week was sponsored by Yahoo News. No. Yeah.
Or 1440.
Yeah, that one too. I use that one a lot. In fact, I use the quotes on that one a lot for my quotes on my page. And I don't credit them. But I do credit other people for when I steal things usually, but I don't usually quote them. Anyway, let's see. People are starting to file into the chat room. Get yourself a chair and sit down or stand if you want. Anyway, all right. Why don't we just get right into things? Unless you have something in particular you want to talk about. I got 3 trackballs, and it's very confusing when I pick up the wrong trackball. They are color coded, but that means I'd have to pay attention to what I'm picking up.
That's a good secret, Mike, to pay attention.
Yes. Let me check and see if people are at the other chat room instead of this chat room. I'm trying to check because we have 2 chat rooms.
Why do we have 2 chat rooms?
Because I'm an egotist and I figure that more people will watch if I have 2. Well, no, because what happens is I have a personal chat room on my page, and then I have one for the Trash Talking Radio page, then I have one for the Mix out of Florida, because they have a page too. Then I have one that's I have 2 Trash Talking Radio, my regular page, and the Mix. Don't ask me why. It's a really strange, stupid reason. Anyway, okay. All right, well, as people start coming in, we'll get it together here. All right, let's see here. I thought I'd start with okay. Have you ever heard of the National Medals of Arts and Humanities?
No.
Oh, well, that's the big thing now. There it is. Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah among National Medal of Arts recipients at the White House ceremony, crying tears of joy. President Biden also handed out the prestigious honors on October 21st to Spike Lee, Steven Spielberg, and to Selena Quintanilla, which I think she's dead. So, yeah, it says posthumous medal.
So who's behind this?
That's a good question. I don't know because I didn't pay for Billboard. And good question. Let me see if I can find this article somewhere else. Of course, it's a Billboard article, so it's probably not anywhere else. I just thought it was interesting because okay, here we go. Diversity Magazine also. Oh, okay, Presidential Award recipients. So I guess this must be because they are, well, this is Diversity Magazine, so they're going to talk about it. Let's go to Diversity Magazine and see what they say. Okay. President Biden handed out the National Medal of Arts and National Humanities honors at the White House. Among those recipients included Latifah, Missy Elliott, the first rappers to be given the honor, and also, are all these, I thought these were all, yeah, they aren't all white, all black, because Steven Spielberg's in this. So, yeah, okay.
Is Diddy in it?
No, I hope not. That would be. You'd have to check to see if the metal on the medal was tainted or not. If it was, then he may get it. It says here, Elliott, the 2023 Rock and Roll Hall. Oh, by the way, did you see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Ozzy?
I did not.
It was. I saw just the clip of Ozzy, and it was really, really good. Billy Idol sang on it. Who's that big guy?
Jelly Roll?
Yeah, he was singing on it. It was really cool. And they had like all these guitarists that were really awesome. Hi, Christine. It was really good. It was better than I expected it to be. All these guys, Wolfgang Van Halen played on it, and all these guys that are really good guitarists were really. Zakk Wylde was playing on it. It was pretty darn good. So I liked it. It's oh, you got, I sent you the clips I promised to send you, didn't I?
The movie, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but
Okay,
I'm going to.
all right. I was trying to remember what I promised to send you, so I'm glad you reminded me, but I knew there was something I was supposed to send you.
I was preaching and teaching last week, so it was pretty busy.
Hey, that should be your go-to. That should be your line. I'm preaching and teaching. In fact, that's how I think I'm going to announce you from now on. He's the preacher and teacher. We got the Vital Idol and the preacher teacher.
You can plug my new ministry.
Well, you plug it because I don't know what it is.
It's Freedom Bound Ministry. You signed up for it.
Oh yeah, I did. I do remember signing up for that. So tell me about that. What?
Well, it's just what I've done my whole career.
Okay.
Those things, and I just thought I'd put it out there. It's for free. There's no charge. It's Celebrate Recovery, Pastoral Counseling, Preaching and Teaching, and Deliverance Ministry.
That's awesome.
And it's what I do.
Well,
and so I just put it out there, and I have a Facebook page.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Ministry.
Yeah, I'll have to. Why don't we? Is it easy to find? I'm part of it now, right?
It's real easy to find, but it's so new. There's not much on it.
All right, let's see here. What am I looking for? What's it called?
Freedom Bound Ministry.
Oh, no, not that. I didn't want to do that. Nope. Want it up here. There we go. All right. Freedom. Okay, this must be it. Okay, leave this. All right, this one here must be this one. Religious organization. Okay, yes, this is the one I did. Okay, so Doug Richwine offers Celebrate Recovery, Pastoral Counseling, Preaching, Teaching, and Delivery Ministry in and around Cincinnati. As well as, I guess I'm glad to see you're getting back on Facebook. Yeah, I'd be glad to push this a little bit.
It's got 11. I think the last time I looked, it was 11 followers. So it's not that.
It will be. We can push that. We can get people to go there.
And I can do things by phone.
Okay.
Or Zoom.
Or you can actually do it by FaceTime.
Or I can do it by FaceTime.
Because Facebook offers that, and I've done that. That's actually fairly stable. And you can do that through calling through Facebook, too. So that would be, if someone didn't want to give up their phone number and they wanted to stay anonymous, they could do it through that, too.
Okay.
So you can do that. That's cool. That's awesome. I remember checking this, but I didn't really look at what it was, because I would just do it because it was you.
I didn't check. Who would I check to see if somebody else had that? I tried it on Google. Nobody else had it on Google, so I went with the name.
I think you're safe.
I went with the name.
You're safe with that, I think. If you didn't find it anywhere, you're probably pretty safe with it. But yeah, that's awesome. I didn't look at it to see what it was, because we can even generate you a picture up here if you want with our AI generator, and maybe we can put some stuff in here for you. So since we're playing around with the AI generator, might as well use it for good, not evil.
Yeah, really. We can use it for evil later.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's which actually leads us to my where is it? There it is. My evil thing that I showed you before the show started. There we go. This is I like talking about AI because it's such an interesting thing. But this video here was created with total AI. It is AI lyrics, AI music, and AI generated video. And the AI character in the video is generated. None of it's real. That's not a person up there standing. That's not a real person. That's a person that was AI generated. And what he does is all generated. So, and the song, it's my new hit, 300 seconds of audio, I think is what I call it. It's horrible, but it's just to really see what this can do.
Song with heavy guitar. Generate a 300-second song with heavy guitar.
Now the thing about this is his lips are moving in conjunction with the words. So it's not just like him moving his lips, it's it moving with the words. And he's pretty accurate about, even when he's playing the bass, he's accurate about I think that may be just by accident, but it's pretty close to what it would be like if it was a bass player. So it's kind of a cool thing, and it's my experiment with the AI video and stuff. But it's pretty cool, I gotta say. And that was generated in about 5 minutes between me saying, well, okay, the actual that was when I pushed start or pushed the button to make it do everything. The first thing was having to generate the music. That probably took about 2 minutes. It probably took about 2 minutes to say what. Well, I put in there generate a guy playing the bass, or no, playing guitar. I said guitar. It brought up a bass, and I said that it was in the song lyrics. I said that it was 300 seconds of playing guitar, which it'll only do 30 seconds because I don't pay for the thing. Oh, it did 41 seconds actually. So, it's just a neat little toy, and it like I said, I'm really amazed that it was able to do it as quickly as it did it. Because when I hit the button to generate the video from the picture, and I had already done the audio, it took about 3 to 5 minutes to actually create that. So that was pretty cool. Wish I could learn a song that quickly. So, all right. Anyway, stop it. Okay, so now the next thing was. Okay. Next thing was thing I talked to you right before we started. Darn it! I'm trying to delete that first article. Okay, the next thing. A big thing with the only reason I have SiriusXM is because Howard Stern's on SiriusXM, and I know he's at least 70, and I think he might be 72, but I might be wrong about that. He is contemplating and talking about retiring, and to me, that is the biggest person on SiriusXM, and once he's gone, I'm not going to subscribe anymore. I'm one of the many people that won't be subscribing.
Is Rogan on now?
He is on now. Actually, he just did an interview with Trump.
Yeah.
So
he's going to do Vance one day this week.
Well, they got to do all kinds of damage control. That's all I know.
That's probably why Vance is going on.
Yeah. But anyway, the big thing is, people are worrying about, will Sirius be able to continue without Stern? And I think that they're going to have a hard time continuing without Stern because he's been the backbone, and they've hired other people and paid them more money than him, and they didn't pan out. And like Oprah was one of them. and and it's really weird to think that he won't be on the radio one of these days. And because I always liked him when I was working. I used to listen to him when I worked, and I don't listen to him as much now, just because I don't spend as much time in my car now. I spend maybe one day a week in my car now. So I don't know. I just I think it's going to be weird not having him on anymore. So.
Well, it's sort of like conservatives, and when Rush Limbaugh died, they tried to replace him.
Yeah.
They failed.
Yeah, it's really weird to think about it. They're so iconic. Whether you like them or not, they're still so iconic that there is only one of them. And people tried to be him, and nobody else could be him. But it's kind of weird to think about, it says here, with those, it says with those that'll pay, it's enough. If it's enough, you're recreating podcast and all that stuff. It says Sirius needs to add new shows to keep feeding the large podcasting and sales unit, and that's why Rogan's one of them. I think that they just added to that, and it says here Sirius already had notable podcast. What are you doing? Why do you do this when the show starts? You were being good, and now you want to be pestering me. You don't pester me when I'm playing. Now you got to go lay down. I'll give you something. I'll give you one thing, but go lay down. Oh, these dogs. Can't live with them. Can't live with them. One for you. One for you. And the one doesn't eat his treat. He waits till Cheyenne's done with her treat, and then she'll come back here, and then he'll be like, oh, I better eat this now, because she'll eat it. I don't think there's any... anyway, it says here, the Celebrity Interview podcast hosted by Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett was the sixth. And it says SiriusXM has distribution rights for the podcast episodes, which are currently widely distributed. It also is, I think, is it talking about Anderson Cooper? It says including Cooper. Oh, no, that's Alice Cooper, I think. Is that Alice Cooper? I've got to open this up. I'm sure it's not Anderson. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Alice Cooper is no longer exclusive to Spotify because it went to Sirius, I guess. So, actually, Alice Cooper's become real interesting in his older age. He doesn't drink anymore, doesn't do drugs anymore, and, different Alice Cooper than when I was a kid, because he was always doing something.
I think he converted to Christianity, too.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right about that. So, I don't know, I just wonder what's going to happen, whether or not we're going to see, whether or not Sirius is going to be able to compete and be in the music market. It says here something about, 70-year-old Stern, so I don't want to make him too old. But still, at 70, to be working when you don't have to. He's working because he likes working, I think. And besides, he'll die if he doesn't work. I think he's one of those guys that if he isn't constantly busy, he goes crazy. So, I don't know. It's interesting. But by the time...
He might not have a life outside of his show.
Correct.
That's what happens to guys that retire. When they have nothing else to do, they just sit around and watch TV, and they just wilt away and die.
So is that what I was supposed to do?
Yes, wilt away and die, Mike.
Instead of
You've disappointed the masses.
And I think so, maybe. I mean, because I can't really think of anything else that I like to watch TV, and I watch TV when I'm working. In fact, that drives Christine crazy that I always have something on, more than one something sometimes, because I like to multitask, and like I'll do video editing while I'm watching TV, while I listen to a soundtrack or something, kind of multitasking. So actually, one of the things about being not practicing in a while is I've actually learned a lot of my lyrics that I was supposed to learn for the band, because we haven't played in We haven't practiced in at least a month. Might be 6 weeks by now. So I took that time and I actually learned a lot of the lyrics that I was missing. But
Why
anyway,
haven't you practiced?
last week it was because the main guitarist was sick. The week before and the week before, two different people were doing things that were just conflicting. But the main guitarist basically is in a lot of he has a lot of vacation time and he has to blow it up and use it or lose it. No, he doesn't have. See, the thing is, I don't think he has to use it or lose it. I think he just decided he has like 150 days of vacation days racked up. You know, half a year. So
Half a year.
now, if that were me, I'd be taking it just so I could practice and play live. You know, but that's just me. I don't know. Anyway, about the Stern thing, it says here, the company has built up a bench of audio talent, which includes James Corden, Andy Cohen, and Conan O'Brien, I guess. Wow. And that's thanks to, in part, to Stern influence. So who knows? I mean, they will have plenty of talent, but they won't have Stern. And that's the thing. If people wanted to watch or listen to those other people, they would have probably listened to them on wherever they were. I don't know. It's weird because you think about 20 years ago is when he moved over. And he's really, if it weren't for him, there wouldn't be satellite radio because nobody would have paid the price. I mean, they charge a lot of money for freaking satellite radio. You can get it down to a reasonable price if you complain for 6 months, and then they jack it up at the end of the 6 months without telling you, and then you go from $11 to $40 a month. And you know, that's one thing that I really get upset about is that they don't pre-warn you about that. They just do it, and they won't refund you. So I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. It'll be interesting to see what happens, though.
I wonder if Joe Rogan is going to become the face of.
Maybe, because he seems to do really well with the podcast thing. You know,
I think he's second biggest audience.
Yeah, I mean,
Call Her Daddy is number one, I think.
Yeah, what is Call Your Daddy?
It's another podcast, and there's a girl, I think, Mike.
I saw that on
wants
here
it because I believe Kamala was on that show.
Yes, I do remember reading that. Hold on a sec. I want to bring this back up again. I want to see. It did mention that on here. Here it is. Yeah, Call Your Daddy. Snapping up both Smartless and Call Your Daddy as two of the most popular. Let's see what that is. Okay. It's on Spotify. Okay. What's the deal with Call Her Daddy? I thought it was Call Your Daddy. Call Her Daddy. The podcast reflects power. It's female empowerment. Okay, we're not allowed to watch it or listen to it.
That's right. Yeah, we'd have to turn in our man card if we watched it.
It has co-host Sophia Franklin suggests that women should be seen as powerful by calling them daddy instead of men. What? Wait a minute. Well, the co-host suggests that women should be seen as powerful by calling them daddy instead of men. Why would that be? And it says daddy gang.
I don't get that.
Okay.
I don't get that.
Daddy gang is the term Cooper uses for describing the show's fan base. I don't think I understand that, but okay.
Well, does it mention the followers?
I'm going to go to Wikipedia. It'll tell me. Should. Has 254 episodes. It's human sexuality. It's a comedy podcast. Okay, is this going to open up my Wikipedia or not? There we go. All right. Let's see. Wow, Cooper had signed an exclusive deal with Spotify for $60 million in the spring of 2020. Cooper reached an agreement with Barstool and continued posting her own podcast in August 2024. Signed a deal with Sirius XM to replace Spotify as the distribution. Wow, that's crazy. $60 million?
That's a lot of money, Mike.
Why can't they give me at least $20 million? If they gave me $20 million, I'd give you like $5.
I think with the quality and of this show, we're worth at least $60 million.
I think if we were to do a regular show every day or whatever, we could put a good show together. But it takes so much time to do that. And
my goodness, yeah, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never heard of it. I guess it's because of female empowerment. I'm not empowering female, I guess. I don't know.
You're not a feminist, Mike. You're not a feminist.
Well, if I'm going to get $60 million, I'll be glad to be a feminist. I'll say whatever they want me to say. Oh, man.
You're a sellout, Mike.
I am. I'll be a sellout for the right money. Yeah, that's money makes the world go around, you know. All right. Well, that's the end of that story. Let me close some of these windows here. Yeah, we'll get that one too. All right, next one. The Menendezes were in the news again. They have addressed their situation, and I really thought we were going to have an answer as to what is going to happen with them. Tell me I don't have a, I don't have a link for that. Oh, dummy. Why did I do that? Okay, that's not going to work. Copy the link. Guess I got to do it the old-fashioned way. I got to actually Google it. Thought I put the link in there. There we go, top stories. Now, I don't understand this. These guys have been in jail since they were teens, okay? Yet they're both married. Tell me what is up with these women that are marrying guys in jail. I mean, I'm like reading this and I'm like, what do you mean your wife? What do you mean your wife? How could you have a wife? You have never. You're not even free. How could you have a wife?
Conjugal visits.
Yeah, well, but you had to have met her sometime. These are women these are part of that cult of women that go after, like, that fell in love with what's his face, the guy that Charles Manson. Yeah, I mean, he had all these girls that loved him. How could you love someone that? I mean, granted, these guys aren't the same thing, but how do you marry a guy that you never met and is in prison for killing their parents?
Through letters.
You know, what motivates a woman to want a guy like? There's guys like me out there that can't find women. Well, okay, Christine, this is an example. This is not you. There are women out there that they're looking in prison for guys. I don't understand it.
Well, those two women obviously believe that they're innocent.
Well,
they got a raw deal.
They aren't innocent. They're not innocent. They paid for the crime that they did, which is different from being innocent. By the way, I want to clarify when I said there's people like me. I was between 2014 and pretty much 2021 single. I was available. I had to go to jail to get a woman. I didn't have to because I got Christine, but I'm saying, you know, that's the anyway. Maybe they just don't want.
You're digging a hole, Mike.
I know I dug the hole already, so hopefully she's not listening right now, because it'll come back and haunt me. Anyway, Eric Melendez's wife Tammy reacts to resentencing recommendation. So I mean, they really, if they're going on the thing of not being guilty of all the things, which obviously they aren't. I mean, they're guilty of part of the things.
Well, they killed them.
Yeah, but
They
that
didn't
time is
deny
up. The time is up for what they would have to have normally done for what they did do. So, okay, so it says Eric Menendez's wife Tammy is speaking out following Los Angeles County Attorney George Gascon, I guess is his name, recommendation that the Menendezes be resentenced after serving more than 3 decades in prison. Yesterday was a difficult and emotional day, she wrote on X on October 25th. I'm grateful to the DA for his courage to seek resentencing for Eric. I'm naturally disappointed he did not go further and act on his own belief that Eric and Lyle have served enough time in prison. The thing is about that, so they're now in their 50s. So when they come out, I guess they're going to have money, because I would imagine there's still money left of the estate.
I wondered about that. I wondered if the rest of the family divvied that up.
Yeah, that's a good question. But if not, how would you like to start your life over at 50? I mean, what are you going to do if you have no money and you're coming out of jail? Like, you're not going to get a job at a firm. You're probably going to have a hard time finding a job at a McDonald's, because, Trump's working there and everything. So,
Yeah, Trump's ruined McDonald's.
yeah, it's really weird. That whole thing was so odd. But, I mean, it was a great campaign thing, but, then they blew it later on. But, anyway, yeah, it says here, Eric and Tammy began their relationship as pen pals and married in 1999 at Folsom State Prison. Now, they went into jail was not that long before that. No, wait, when did they kill? They actually killed, maybe it was the early 80s. Yeah, so if it's been 30 years, they probably went into jail 95-ish, 94-ish. So, I don't know. But the thing is,
I wonder if they were high school sweethearts.
that is, I didn't think of that. Tammy photographed at Folsom on the day she was said to be marrying. Okay. Menendezes were found guilty in 96. Okay, so they were in jail for 3 years. I mean, there's some women that just, there's some women that chase after people in jail. And I never really understood that.
Well, if the will wasn't broken, then they got the money, and probably Tammy got the money.
Okay.
Could be.
Yeah,
I'm just guessing, but it could be.
I didn't think of that, but that's possible.
Tammy's living with the money.
Yeah.
And maybe never thinking that he would get out of jail.
That's true too. And man, that's
now she's going to have to share it.
Yeah, and the other one's married too, so they're both married. But it says they were pen pals. I don't know. I don't understand, and I will never understand why women would chase after that. I mean, other than it's a safe relationship because you're never going to meet them.
Well, they do have conjugal visits, Mike.
Yeah, I kind of am grossed out by that. She came in like a wrecking ball. Christine Harding is in the chat room, and yeah. Let's see. But yeah, it's just a weird thing to think that about just the idea of wanting to be with someone, because there's a lot of people that aren't jailed. I don't know if maybe she didn't know that. Maybe she thought, well, the only way I can get a guy, I mean, I'm looking at her, she's such a dog. Not. She's actually a normal looking woman.
Yeah, she should have no trouble getting a guy.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't get it. I really don't get it. But hey, whatever it takes to make you happy, I guess. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the other Netflix thing too. Plus, by the way, they have weird. You can join the Melendez. There's a group and you get charged a certain amount a month, and you actually can listen to the recordings of them talking to people on their phone from jail. I don't know. I don't really care what they said. Just what it's like you can pay to eavesdrop, I guess. I just think it's odd.
Then maybe they don't get the money.
Oh,
That's how they get money for incidentals and candy and treats in the jail.
Okay. Possibly, yeah. I can see that. Oh, wow. It gets deeper and deeper.
Because they have to buy their TV. You got to have money to do that.
Yeah. And they used to have money. A long time ago. Oh, okay. All right, next thing. Put this on this side now. And, all right, all right, next. Not all states have conjugal visits. What is it you were saying? Oh, hold on. Didn't want that to happen. All right. Let's see. Okay. Did you want to talk about okay. A lot of it's okay. This was from a news source I saw earlier today. It says a lot of major outlets. Okay, not all states have conjugal visits, according to Tina. Not all. Okay, so it's the Bibi files, the explosive documentary containing leaked information of interrogations and the ongoing corruption file of Netanyahu, is set to stream on the new platform Jolt. The film from the director Alexis Bloom and the producer Alex Gibney will stream on Jolt starting December 11th for 90 days. This decision comes after the film garnered distributors' interest in international markets, but not in the U.S. The film will cost $12 at Jolt. Did you know anything about this?
No, not a bit.
This is really weird. It's I didn't know anything about it either.
The movie, I missed it. Was the movie anti-Bibi or pro-Bibi?
I'm thinking it's anti. I think it's anti because it says the explosive documentary containing leaked footage of interrogations in the ongoing corruption file of Benjamin Netanyahu is set to stream on Jolt. Tina says
he's in trouble. He's in trouble in Israel. The only reason he's still there is because of the war.
Tina says she has an acquaintance married a man in Louisiana prison. None for her. I can't understand the idea of it, but some people. It's not like it's a new thing, I guess, because women have been doing that for years and years. The film from producer Alex Bloom, We Steal the Secrets, Divide and Conquer, and producer Alex Gibney, The Inventor and Going Clear, will stream on the platform starting December 11th for 90 days. Streaming the film will cost $12 on Jolt, which launched earlier this year, and is currently distributing Venice Film Festival entry Hollywood Gate with Sundance Jury Prize winner Gaucho to come in December. Variety was the first to report the distribution of the Bibi files. I think it's really interesting. I'd love to know what they're accusing him of. It's really interesting. It says here, what I didn't want to happen was to get caught in the cogs of a more traditional outlet who would say, okay, we're going to take the film, but only release it at the end of the year, which can happen. So what is he in trouble for?
Well, I'm not quite sure because I don't follow him for that. That's internal Israel politics.
Okay.
You know, they don't. There's many people that don't like him
Right.
and don't want him to be prime minister. The reason he's still in power is because of the war. He's handling this, prosecuting the war pretty well,
Okay.
and no one wants to change a horse in midstream. So, but if it wasn't for the war, when everything's calmed down, I think they'll throw him out.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. All right. Let's see. I might as well do this now. This Saturday is our next wrestling show. It's going to be at the Bridesburg, Philadelphia Rec Center, and it's to raise money for their the Cougars. I guess I don't know if it's field hockey. It's I don't know, the Cougars children's, I don't know, whatever the Cougars are. Anyway, we're gonna have Breaker Morant is gonna be back. First time I've seen him in 10 years, 12 years, and he's going to be against Nathaniel. Oh, okay. Breaker and Kyle Tyler are taking on Caden. Oh, is it 3 people? It must be a 6-man. Breaker and Kyle and Tyler are taking on Cade and Nathaniel and Donnie, which they're all good independent guys. The one guy that I know best is Breaker Morant. I've known him because he's probably the veteran of the group. I know he's on his last run, and then he'll be giving it up. So it'll be interesting to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Then we're going to have Valentina. Valentina is taking on Mimi, which are 2 women, excellent women wrestlers. We're going to have another women's 3-way match, which is going to have Marie, Zenith, and Autumn Breeze taking on each other. And then we're going to have Axel versus Arion. Houdini is taking on Houdini and Darian are taking on the NCJB. I'm not sure who they are. And they're taking on Duncan and Brian, which is going to be a 3-way tag match. JT Cage with the Hat Guy is taking on Roadblock. Anton is taking on Wyndham. And the Cougars coaches are actually going to have a wrestling match. And will be interesting to see the coaches because they've never wrestled before. So that should be interesting to see how that turns out. All right, next thing.
I could just see a broken leg. And
it could be anything.
Around the place.
Because I'm like, what? They're really going to take on each other? Okay, we'll see what happens. See what, I don't know if that's the main event or not, but it's going to be an interesting show. In 1978, writer-director John Carpenter unleashed Halloween in theaters. So, and that turned into a really big franchise after all that. I think that's going to be interesting I mean, they took that, geez, what was that, what was her name? I was madly in love with her. Who was the girl in Halloween?
I don't know, I never watched.
I really liked her, and I thought she was really awesome. And right now I can't think of her name. It's driving me crazy. Halloween actress. Oh, wait. Shoot. Her father was an actor too. Here it is. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee, yes.
She was in all the movies, and actually, it's funny to see her in like the last couple where she took on her brother. The guy in Halloween was her brother, and she ended up taking him on 1-to-1. So yes, Christine, you win a point. She had it before we looked it up. But yeah, it was really kind of strange, but interesting that through, what did I say? What year was that? 1978, up until what? About 3 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago, they had episodes of that coming out. So, and I was late to that game because I didn't really watch horror movies back then. Mostly because I grew up with horror movies. My parents used to take me to horror movies when I was like 5 and 6. So,
There's a way to. That's a way to raise a kid.
yeah. Look at me. Too late. That means there's no points. No, you get double points if you said it before I did. So, yeah, it's just funny because I remember watching different things and thinking, why are people interested in blood things? And my brother and I used to watch in the back of the station wagon because we go to the drive-ins. So it was funny. Katy Perry had a birthday. How old do you think she is?
I have no idea.
Just stab it.
52.
She is 40. Craig Robertson. He's a black guy who is actually pretty funny. He was a comedian that had a couple different TV series on Peacock. One of them was Killing It. It was a really stupid story, but I would loved it. It was he was trying to make money for a business idea that he had, and he couldn't figure out a way to do it. So he started driving Uber around, and he ran into this lady who her main thing was they do this is a true story. They do every year they do a catch in Florida for big snakes in the swamp.
Pythons.
Yes.
Pythons.
Well, that's what he ended up doing. So the first season, he was trying to kill all these cobras or not cobras, these pythons, so that he could make money. And if you're the one who kills the most, I guess you make a big amount. So that was the theme of the show, and it was so stupid and so funny. But anyway, and then they came out the next year and did another series of Killing It too. But anyway, he got that. How about this one? This will. How old do you think Richie Cunningham's mother is? Marion Ross.
85.
She is 96.
96.
96. Wow. That's just crazy. Johnny Carson was born in 1925. He's not around anymore. Ryan Reynolds had a birthday.
Well, I don't know who he is either.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Do you know who Deadpool is?
No.
Oh. Do you know who... Well, if you don't know who Deadpool is, you're not going to know any of the other ones. He was the one who did Deadpool. He's 48. Weird Al Yankovic.
Well, oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, he's got to be 85.
You missed my 30 years. Or 20 years. He's 65. Well, I guess we just lost that listener. Now he's going to do a song about our show.
Well, no, see, that's hard to believe because he was around when I was a lot younger.
Yeah, well, how old are you? He's your age.
I'm 68, yeah.
Well, I mean, close enough, but he's, he came out with the songs in the 70s when he was in college, I guess. So, I mean, that's... Dwight Yoakam.
Don't know who he is.
He's a country guy. He's 68. Joaquin Phoenix.
Again. You got the wrong host, man. I don't know these.
You're not kidding. He just played the Joker. He is 50. You know who this is? Julia Roberts.
Okay, she's got to be in her 70s.
She's younger than I am.
Really?
She's 57.
She started young.
I know. I figured she was older than me. So I would have lost on that one. We've got Winona Ryder.
Again.
She was a star when we were... She was a child star. She's 53. Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard has to be, well, he probably started young. He's got to be around your age or between us.
No.
How old is he?
77. Remember,
Okay.
he was in the mashed potato one, the Alien movie. When the first Alien movie, not Alien, but
Alien?
not Alien.
No, E.T.?
No. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and he was also in that really bad movie with Burt Reynolds. You Got a Purty Mouth. He was in that movie, the backcountry one, where the rednecks raped the guys.
Deliverance.
That's it. I can't remember anything today. I was trying to remember these names of these things. And then there's you probably don't know Gabrielle Union.
No.
She's 52. You probably don't know Michael Schur. He
Nope.
did a TV series with Ted Danson that it was about the afterlife. It was a really good show.
Oh, yes.
The Good Place. Good Place.
The Good Place.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is 49. Then if you remember back when what was her name? She had a comedy show. Dave Castanella was on it, and Dave Castanella was one of the characters on the cartoon with the kid with the weird hair. I cannot remember anything today. With Dole. What's the freaking the adult cartoon with the guy with the kid with the skateboard and the smart kid that is I can't remember their name. Freaking A. What is why am I not remembering their name? The name of the show. Geez, I'm like losing it. Adult cartoons.
Gonna have to look it up.
I know. I can't believe I can't remember it. The Simpsons. There it is. Simpsons. Dave Castanella is one of the Simpsons. He was also on. What's the name of that stupid show? I could have just put Castanello in there instead of trying to figure out. Oh man. Tracy Ullman Show. Remember that?
Yes.
That's where they discovered The Simpsons, and that's where Dave Castanella was originally. Okay, enough of that. I can't do this anymore. I'll go. We're going to skip the rest. Well, we don't have any more. I think we got them all. Okay, next question. Next thing. Now you know that TKO is the company that bought WWE, and they own UFC. Endeavor.
Right.
Okay, they're going to buy now bull riders, professional bull riders. They're going to pay. I can't believe there's this much money. This much money in. They're going to buy bull riders on location, whatever that is, an IMG, and they're going to spend $3.25 billion on this.
Wow.
I just can't imagine bull riders. And I don't know what on location an IMG is. Yeah. So the parent company of WWE and UFC's purchasing is buying bull riders, professional bull riders on location in IMG from the Endeavor. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. From the Endeavor Group in an all-stock deal valued at $3.25 million. The parent company of TKO, which is part of Endeavor's efforts to shed some of its assets, as it looks to take private. They want to go private. They want to go from stock to a private company. They want to go, but they're making so much money. I'm really surprised that they want to do that.
They don't like sharing the profits with the stockholders.
Yeah, for sure. With private equity firm Silver Lake was announced in April. Aaron Emanuel, who serves as CEO of Endeavor, is also executive chair and CEO of TKO. So I guess he knows what he's doing. It just seems.
Well, I tell you what, bull riders are brave, brave guys.
They're
Or
crazy.
stupid.
I don't know if they're brave. I think they're crazy. You got to be crazy to get on an animal that weighs that much that could kill you. You know, there's certain people that live for that kind of thing, but I don't know. You couldn't pay me enough to do that. I don't know. But yeah, it says the Professional Bull Riders is a bull riding league that has more than 200 annual live events, approximately 1.25 million fans, and reaches more than 285 million households in 65 territories. On Location is a live event company with more than 1,200 sporting events such as the Super Bowl, Ryder Cup, and NCAA Final Four. IMG is a distributor and producer of sports content packages and sells media rights and brand partnerships, and provides consulting, digital services, and event management to clients such as the National Football League and National Hockey League. So they're pretty big purchases.
Yes, that's huge. Anything to do with football, you're making a lot of money.
Well, it's interesting because isn't the football going? The Super Bowl is going to be on Netflix. Is that true?
Do not know. I think it's still this year. It's still out in the public domain, but everything in the NFL is moving to pay. That's where they're heading.
Well, I mean, you look at things like the WWE. They're now owned by Endeavor, and they have they paid $6 or $7 billion for that, and they're making their money. They are making some big events. They have an event this weekend in Saudi Arabia, which is one of their bigger events. Now, Saudi Arabia is a paid show, which means that they don't have to sell tickets. Saudi Arabia is paying them to come in. And the amount of money they're paying the WWE to come in is astronomical. So, yeah, there's money in wrestling. There's money in... it just amazes me that one company is going to capitalize on that and have the budget to buy all that stuff. So, more power to them, but, you know. Next story is interesting from a point of view of something that we've been talking about for several weeks, and that is the feds are going to sweep the jails. What are you doing? Stop making so much noise. They're going to sweep the jails so that, let me see if I can find, where's the article at? Here we go. It interests me that they're actually worried about Diddy killing himself.
Well, I knew he was on suicide watch.
And it seems that Diddy's not the only one on suicide watch. Let me see here. Feds sweep jail. Okay. And I think this will probably do it. Okay. Because they're worried about investigators from various federal agencies launched an interagency operation on Monday at a troubled lockup in New York where Diddy Combs is being held. The investigators from the Bureau of Prisons, the Justice Department Inspector's General Office, and other law enforcement agencies descended on the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, and the law enforcement operation is designed to achieve our shared goal of maintaining a safe environment for both our employees, incarcerated, housed people, and But the thing is, are they worried about him really killing himself? And if they are, what's the big deal? I mean, see, this is the thing. I don't understand why we want to keep him alive. If he wants to kill himself, more power to him. It saves us a lot of money.
Well, that's the presumption of innocence.
Yeah, well, I don't think he has a
In
chance.
our country, he is innocent until proven guilty.
That's just... But if he wants to kill himself, let him. That saves us a lot of money here. The move comes...
Save a lot.
The move comes as the jail has faced increasing scrutiny over horrific conditions, rampant violence, and multiple deaths, and amid the push by the Justice Department to fix problems at the jail. Well, if they're that worried about this, just move them to another jail, one with a rope already in it. I personally don't have any. I don't have any pity for him. After seeing that video of him kicking that woman, I believe everything that has been accused of him. I mean, anybody that has that much hatred in themselves that they have to abuse a woman like that, there's no reason to keep him alive. There's nothing he can give. You know, we know he's going to jail. And if he gets out of jail, it's going to be even worse because that guy doesn't deserve it. He deserves some jail time. And if that's the only thing he did, that's still something. I don't know. And there's a lot of people that are saying, this happened to me, and it's the stories are awfully condemning. I don't know. I just think that it's weird that we want to save people like this, and I don't get it. I just don't get it because you know, if it were me or you, they'd let us rot in there. So that's my 2 cents in the whole thing. I may be alone in that, but you know, that's the way I feel.
Glad you're not head of New York prisons.
I'd have a clean prison. There wouldn't be that many people there. Oh, another one tragically died. The guy ended up hanging himself. I don't know where he got the rope. Yeah, I would be put in jail for instigating them to kill them all. There's 1,200 inmates in the MDC, the Manhattan, Brooklyn, 1,200 inmates with roughly 470 employees, and approximately 70% of its correction officers are filled. Positions are filled. Now, I do have a friend up in New York named Robert Galinsky, and he does comedy stuff. And what he does is he goes to these prisons up in New York, and he preaches to them. Not preaches to them. He teaches them comedy, and it's been a good program. It actually works. People actually look forward to that, and it keeps the violence down, and that's kind of cool. He's a cool guy. I love working with him. He's one of the guys.
Well, those things. There's a couple things about programs like that. One is it's an outlet.
Yes.
2 is it's a diversion.
Yes.
And 3 is if they screw up, they're not going to be able to attend.
And 4 is it's kind of like something to look forward to. You know, they have something that they work for, and it's something that that's good in their life. I guess that's the diversion you're talking about. But you know,
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea that you know people can better themselves. The people that want to be better.
It's all under the heading of rehabilitation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of those people can actually be rehabilitated, but maybe, you know, I'm sure there are more than I think.
where I minister now in this Christian drug and alcohol rehab, there are guys in there that are institutionalized. They can't function on their own. They do better when they're told when to go to bed, when to get up, when supper is,
Wow.
when breakfast is, when lunch is, when work is. They're institutionalized, and they do things in the outside to get thrown back in jail
Oh, wow.
because they prefer jail life.
Yeah. I guess I understand that.
They're taken care of.
Yeah. And when I was a kid, I would have loved to have someone take care of me. And, you know,
Well, you missed it, Mike. You should have done something wrong and gone to prison.
no, I was terrified of jail. I remember the one time I got in trouble with something I didn't deserve. My friend Rich and I went out cruising the circuit. Remember the circuit in Harrisburg?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And I didn't drink or anything. We had these two girls in my van, and we were cruising the circuit, and we got pulled over, and we had an open container. Now, I didn't drink, so I wasn't drunk, but they got me for driving with an open container, even though I didn't drink. And they got me for underage drinking. I was like just shy of 21. And they got Rich, and the two girls got off, of course. We were the only ones that got fined. And after I paid my fine, I'm driving around, and I got pulled over. This was years later, got pulled over, and they wanted to take me to jail because I hadn't paid my fine. I said, I did pay my fine. Do you have paperwork? I'm like, this is years later. Where would I have paperwork for something like that? So I'm trying to remember what order of things happened. I think they did take me downtown, but they did release me after they found that I did pay it. But it was scary. I thought, man, now they're going to send me to the pokey, and I didn't do anything except drive my car, you know? Oh, well. That was my one
You're
time.
responsible for everything that happens in that car.
You bet. You bet. I will never have alcohol in my vehicle again. So that I learned a valuable lesson that I ended up being fined for, and I didn't get any that night either. That really sucked. And we were with two pretty hot girls. I think they were really wanting him more than me. Oh, I see Christine did mention The Simpsons. I should read that more, read the chat room more. And she got 4 points for our, I guess, guessing of the things I couldn't remember, which are a lot lately. I think my mind's gone. But I do remember those lyrics to the songs I was having problems with, so I did figure that out. Okay, the next thing. Venom opened. Venom 3. Now, I know you probably didn't see Venom 1 and you didn't see Venom 2, but Venom 3 was the box office winner this week. Remember we were talking about the Joker ended up making $23 million, and it cost him like whatever, double that. But anyway, well, it's not at all like that. It's not like that. Venom 3 opened to a solid $175 million globally. Now we're talking. That's the kind of numbers they used to do pre-COVID. So they're probably happy with that movie. And that's the third Venom. If you haven't seen Venom, it's a superhero movie, kind of an anti-superhero movie. This alien being or whatever got in this guy's bloodstream and turns into a monster or whatever, and they go killing bad guys. But the alien wants to kill everybody. Alien wants to eat everyone. But the guy that's controlling him in his body stops him from doing it. It's actually a funny superhero movie, but it's really bizarre. It's really a little dark. But anyway, so that made, like I said, that made $173 million globally. Despite the sluggish $51 million in the U.S., but it still did $175 million. So they're going to pay. They're going to be able to pay the electric this month. But so here's him, and here's the alien guy. It's out of the back of his body. He just it's just really is. I saw the first two, and it was really funny. It says here, it's Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It's the name of the movie, and it was up against The Last Dance, and it said the budget was $120 million to make that, and they made $173 first week. So I think they're pretty happy with that. $46 million in China. Huh. Wouldn't expect that from a movie like that.
I think they can tip next time they eat out.
Yeah, just a little bit. They can give them more than 10%. But anyway, so yeah, that's what the movie section is like this week. So, Smile 2 was second. With its now, keep in mind we did 172 million, or 173 million. It's 175 million. So, Smile 2 came in second place. You want to guess what that did?
No, I have no idea.
9.4 million. That's a big difference. Everybody went to see the one and didn't even bother with the other one. Oh man! So they're at a 41 million rate for their run. So really interesting though. I want to definitely check out that movie. Not Smile. Well, I'll probably see Smile 2. I like Smile 1. It was okay. But okay. So that one's done. Then Jeff Bezos ticked off a bunch of people, and most of them his employees. Did you hear about this?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know he owned Washington Post.
Yeah, he bought it.
Why would you buy a media thing like Washington Post? I mean, it's a dying media.
Yes. And he's trying to turn it around. So he didn't want. He's got some financial projects that he needs Trump for.
But he wouldn't endorse Trump.
Well, but he didn't endorse Harris.
This is true, but he didn't endorse Trump either. I guess we could talk about Trump now since this is up, if you want to talk about that.
Well, Trump, let's talk about the joke.
Okay.
You know, I don't know who screened that. Whoever went over that script.
Yeah. I don't think they did. I don't think anybody went over
I don't think they did either. Or that was an ad lib.
Yeah.
But if it was in the script, someone needs fired and quickly.
Or somebody needs to address that comment. Someone Trump-wise needs to address that.
Well,
because
they have, and Trump did it too.
Because I have a friend who's Puerto Rican, and she is very upset about this.
Yeah, it was a horrible joke.
Yes. And it
wasn't a joke. It was just dead on arrival.
Yeah, it was a horrible thing to say, and especially in this woke climate, and especially this close to the.
Yeah, go ahead.
Especially this close to the election. I mean, geez, we're a week away?
Yes, that's a self-inflicted wound. He's doing so well in the Hispanic culture. He's doing well with the population group, and now this.
Right. I think it was really it's sad because I was all pro. I was really turning towards the light of Trump, and then this happened. Now I can't endorse him myself. You know, I keep saying, well, I can't endorse Harris because, you know, my word means a lot in this world. I can't endorse her in any way, shape, or form because of her performance on everything. So far, she's not given me a reason to believe that she would be the right person. And out of default, I was thinking, well, okay, Trump's doing pretty good. He's watched what he said, and he's been really good about what he said, and then all of a sudden this happens. And now I'm like, shoot. Now
I know they hang this around Trump's neck.
Yes.
Trump did not say it.
Yes.
But he gets the bad pub because it was at his event.
Yes. It's really sad because at this close.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, at this close, if he had done this 6 months ago, we'd forget about that.
Old news, but now it's going to carry right on through the election.
And that's. I think that's one thing. One thing that is good though is that according to what I read earlier today, and it might be in this. Let me see if it's in here. Let me see. Make sure I'm right about this. I don't remember the exact words, but it said that Trump lost the election by 80,000 votes in Pennsylvania last time. And this time he's already ahead by, I want to say 200,000. But this isn't the end of the road. I mean, picked a really bad time to have this happen because, man, this is the last week, and the people that are going to vote now out of emotion rather than everything else.
Well, it's just another example of his inability to say the right thing and do the right thing,
Right.
because that should have never been allowed to happen.
Correct. And I just don't even, I can't fathom. Like, the first thing I would have done when that happened is I would have done it right then and there, and I would have stepped up and said, "You're fired," to the guy that said it.
He should have come up. Yeah, he should have walked out on stage and just said.
Because he could have been a hero. He could have said, "Look, we have no room for that kind of humor in our political campaign." That would have made him look really good. But he didn't do it. So that's a missed opportunity. That he could have turned that into something good, but he didn't. So anyway, this happened before that, I believe. This happened, I think, Friday. Well, October 20. No, this is October 28th. It says here, Amazon billionaire and Post owner said the paper's decision to cease presidential endorsements came from a drive to avoid the perception of non-independence. I don't know. I always thought that
Bezos wants to hire some conservatives.
Okay.
And the employees, the journalists, are dead set against this.
Yeah, I know.
They're all liberal.
I think it's really weird that I think that we shouldn't. I think that news companies should not. They should be. They're supposed to be news. They're supposed to be right down the middle. Nobody's ever down the middle. So
it used to be the journalists had no.
Exactly. Like.
Or if they did, it didn't. It wasn't allowed to be entered into their job.
Right. And that's the way it should be. You know, if I want to see news that's straight down the middle, I gotta watch Australian news. And those guys don't pull punches. They just say it as it is. They just say this is what we're seeing, and this is you know, that's the way it should be. It should be. You should not have a dog in the race. You know, you shouldn't. If you're doing news, you should be doing news. I don't know.
I listened to a podcast called Mo News.
Okay.
And it's a guy and a girl. They're both experienced journalists.
Okay.
They try to go right down the middle. And I think they're both lean liberal.
Okay.
But you can't tell. You can't tell by the way they tell the stories.
Right.
And that's the way it should be.
Well.
Because if you're a journalist and you're reporting the news, you should be straight down the middle.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. I mean, but you're going to be either leaning one way or the other on our, if you're CNN, you're leaning one way, it's not news. It becomes opinion then. And
well, now if you're an opinion person, that's different.
Right. Like Howard Stern is an opinion person. And strangely, he really backs Kamala. And
he's turned very liberal in his old age.
Yeah, and like even after all these, see, this is the thing I don't get is I'm not a news show, so I can say whatever I want, but I still try to stay in the middle, and I just cannot see, and I tried to, like my friend Rich is very Kamala, very well. No, let me say it again. He's anti-Trump so bad that he's going to go Kamala. And he sent me this long diatribe, and I tried to read it, and it's just BS. The thing is, he's way to the left or right. I don't know which side he's on, whatever Kamala's side. It's really sad because he may not like Trump, and he keeps saying that he's Hitler and this and that, and he's not even paying attention that Kamala wouldn't be able to hold her own against anybody. always going to get.
She won't go on Joe Rogan because
Well, Joe Rogan's
he,
tough.
she would be stumped because he actually asks follow-up questions.
Yeah, and she wouldn't be able to. She just would say, "When I was a little girl,
Yeah.
I don't care when you were a little girl. I just stick with the answers, you know." And she doesn't. She's not. If there was a Democrat guy that would be good, I would say, yeah, let's vote for him. But you know, even her stooge that she wants for vice president.
Oh, he's the worst.
Hey, you know, it gives Jim Gaffigan a job. He plays him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So he's going out there and having a blast with it. But, you know, the seriousness of this is that our country's a joke when it comes to this election. So, I don't know. It's sad.
Well, Europe is scared of Trump. They don't want Trump to win.
Well,
so I mean, there's a lot riding
right.
on this election.
Yeah, I don't know. I see that. I see the prices have gone up. I see that we're in war now, and we weren't when Trump was in. He ended the wars, and that's the only thing I can say about it is that I don't trust her. I don't think she's experienced enough. I don't think she's strong enough. I know there are women out there that are strong and could do the job, but she's not it, as far as I'm concerned.
She's not my mother. You know my mother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would take your mother. Oh, yeah. Your mother would be awesome. Your mother was decisive, and your mother could answer questions, and your mother was tough, but she was good at what she did, and she's even better now, today, even though she's passed away, than Kamala is.
Thanks, Mike. That's a nice compliment.
Well, I loved your mother.
In other words, Kamala can't pass a dead woman.
Right. And let me tell you, I loved your mother. I felt that she was true to everything she did, and I wish she was my mother. You know, that's how I felt, because she was strong and she wasn't afraid to make a decision. So
no, she wasn't.
And she was giving. She took care of me, and so I will forever ever love your mother. I just think that she was a person of her word. So
yeah. Well, thank you, Mike. That's a nice compliment.
Well, I have a little bit of a tear in my eye because I really loved your mother. Anyways, so.
Well, one thing about my mom was you knew where you stood with her.
Yeah. And I was.
She didn't pull punches.
I was shocked that she treated me as well as she did, because, I mean, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her, but the time that I spent with her, she treated me well. And
you were my friend, Mike.
Yeah, and she was wonderful. I cannot tell you how many times I paid it forward because of her. There are many, many times I paid it forward because of your mother. So she was wonderful. She was strong, she was stern, and she did what she felt was right. And I loved that woman because she wasn't afraid to do things. She wasn't afraid to be decisive about things. And she was a wonderful woman. And I will forever think fondly of her. And by the way, for the people that are listening, she was a person that, right out of college, I needed to buy clothes, and your mother gave me money to buy clothes. And I said, I don't know if I can pay this back. She said, pay it whenever you can. And when I went to pay it, she wouldn't take it. When I made money enough to pay for it, she wouldn't take my money. She said, pay it forward. And I did. I've done it many times because of her. And because I thought about that, and she was one of the people that changed my life, that showed me what it's like to pay it forward. I mean, we heard the term pay it forward, but she was the first person that ever did that for me. And, I was willing to pay her back, but she didn't. She said, no, you pay it forward. And there's a lot of people I've done that for because of her, because I never heard of anyone actually doing it. I've heard of people talking about it, but she did it for me. And so.
No, you were my friend, Mike, and she liked my friends.
Well,
except for Rob. I'm just teasing him.
Well, I think your mother's great. Your mother was great, and she had to raise you. I mean, she had to be some super person.
Well, Michael, you know where that $300 came from?
No, I don't.
My Christmas gifts.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
She shorted me Christmas to pay for your clothes.
Well, that makes me feel even better about it. All right, next thing. Let's see. Okay, I can get rid of all this stuff because that's all to do with the political endorsement. So I can delete that. Next thing was you're lucky. Some stuff I put on this and I forget what it was all about, so I got to reread it. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I could do this too because we were talking about Sean Diddy, so I'll do this story too. That guy was a real winner. In a new lawsuit, he sexually assaulted 10 and 17-year-old boys. If this stuff's true, like I said, give him a rope. he needs a rope. Because at this point, who hasn't he raped? That's what I want to know. Jeez. I mean, if you do just one of these things, you don't deserve to live. Now we're talking about, we've heard that he was doing guys too because he was, but they were adult men. Now we're talking about 17-year-old, 10-year-old boys. So, I don't know.
Well, I was worked in a prison, as I've said before, and I was a counselor, and they brought they wanted me to talk to this guy that tried to commit suicide. And I knew what he had done. And so I wanted to be tough in front of the guards. So I said, do you want me to show you how to tie that knot?
Wow.
That did not go over well.
I get it. I would imagine. See, that's...
It's one of my mistakes.
Jeez. But if it was a comedy show, it would have been kind of funny, but not if it's real. Yeah, that's where you put your foot in your mouth. What was this? This one is deaths, divorces. Wait, where's the rest of it? Hey. Oh, okay. Here's who the stars call. Okay, we'll use that one. I can use that later. We don't need that one today. That's not one that's time sensitive. See, some of these things I put in here, they aren't time sensitive, so we don't have to. We're doing good on time though. It's this one. Oh, okay.
He's one sick individual, that man.
Yeah. Here's another one that's a fairly sick individual. Chris Brown. Jane Doe alleges that the rapper drugged and raped her on Diddy's yacht.
There you go.
I mean, how many stories are there like this? This guy, I mean, he's no better. If he really did that.
He's no better at all. Yeah, but see, what I don't get is, well, I do get it. But, see, he's a rapper. He could have just about any woman he wanted.
Yeah.
Women would climb over anything to get to be his woman.
Yeah, why is that?
Power. She probably wouldn't give it to him. And he got mad.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I never understood that. I just think about That's over a two-decade career. He's had multiple physical and sexual assaults. It says a history of Chris Brown, a history of violence, alleges. I guess there's a documentary. Multiple physical and sexual assaults by the pop star over a two-decade career. I mean, this is so. Back in the 70s, Led Zeppelin did this stuff, but they all consented. They did really strange things, but I got to see something pretty cool on this one channel on YouTube. The guy's name is Ethan Millie. Ethan. I want to say it's Millie. It's something like that. Anyway, he goes into abandoned houses that are historic, and sometimes it's just billionaires. Sometimes it's a gangster. Sometimes it's just people that they're going to end up tearing this house down. He went into a house in Canada that Led Zeppelin stayed in. That was so cool. This house was, thinking about places I would stay if I was Led Zeppelin. I mean, they were making, at that point in their life, they were making so much money. But this house was really cool, but it wasn't the kind of house I would expect out of a band. But it was very, very cool. And actually, that'll lead to the next article, next thing I want to talk about.
Carried for a while. A very bad.
Oh, I can't do this till. Okay, I'll do this other one till you come back, because this other one's really important. So, all right. So the Chris Brown thing, it kind of sucks that he was one of these people that are going to go through this thing too. Now, I never heard any of his music. I don't know if he's any good or whatever, but I do know that he's a jerk if he started doing some of this stuff. Here's a pretty interesting one. So a couple years ago, Armie Hammer was a pretty big name in Hollywood, and what he would do is he'd be in a Lone Ranger movie or whatever. He was a rising star pretty quickly, and all of a sudden it came to a halt because people were saying that he did this wrong and that wrong, and some of the things he did served him to disappear. And all of a sudden, he's back now with the Armie Hammer Time podcast. And it's going to serve as his personal diary, talk about his insights to inner thinking amid one of the most spectacular downfalls in history. So he was an A-list guy. He was in all the good movies and stuff like that. Some of you are going to hate or love this. Some of you are going to hate this. Says Hammer 38. He has an Instagram, and so he said that the acknowledgement that they call him by Lone Ranger, as most of the people remember him, but his podcast is going to be out there. He's going to talk about all kinds of stuff, but it's going to be interesting to see him try to rebuild his career, because he was pretty much done. When they started talking about some of the things he did, he just disappeared, and nobody heard from him I don't even remember when he disappeared. It was, here it is. 2017. Says Armie Hammer's ex-girlfriend accused him of raping her in 2017. Two other women, then that came forward and accused him of subjecting them to emotional abuse so severe it led them to seek for treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder. One said he expressed a desire to cook and eat her rib. That's pretty strange and pretty off the wall. Hammer also has countered with relationships were all consensual, sadomasochistic arrangements, and conceded he was emotionally abusive to women. But following an investigation, there was insufficient evidence. So now he's going to try to make a comeback. And, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. People forgive, people forget. But it was pretty controversial when it first came out. So we'll see what happens, see if he does come back to his career or not. But I don't know. People are weird. They forget him for the wrong, or they end up, remembering the right thing or the wrong things and stuff like that. All right, you're back. Okay, this is something I want you to I found the perfect role for me. And I'm serious about this. And I applied for it. So there is a thing called the Rock Orchestra. And they have a page on Facebook, actually. And I'm trying to open it. There we go. This is so cool. I applied for this and I really hope I get it. So this is so cool. What it is it's an orchestra and a female singer and a male singer doing rock songs. So it's a rock orchestra. And actually there are parts, there are things in here, samples of it. It's a stage show. It's a complete stage show. This is a Cranberries song, by the way, but it's done orchestra-wise.
Another head hangs slowly, child is slowly taken.
I got to be careful how much I play at this time because we'll get hit with copyright stuff. But anyway, the whole thing is really cool. They're looking for a lead singer and MC. So the lead singer, the male lead singer is also the MC. They tour all over the world, not just the United States. They have tour dates all over the world. They have ticket prices are like $65 for the cheapest ticket and goes up from there. It goes up to like, I don't know, $150 a ticket. And
That's pretty reasonable considering what other people charge.
yeah, well, my KISS tickets were more than that, but it's not a local band. It's an orchestra doing rock music. And to me, that would be the ultimate for me to tour. And actually, that's why I said I'm going to be out in Ohio. If I get hired for this, I'm going to be out in Ohio for a couple weeks to get ready for it if they were to hire me for this. This is really cool. They have tour buses. When they stay at hotels, we would have individual rooms, and you get paid a set amount for performing. You get travel days. You get a certain amount for travel days. You get a certain per diem per day. It's really, really exciting. I mean, like, I saw this and my eyes. I saw this like Friday, and I said, I could never do this. And then all weekend I said, why can't I do this? And then yesterday Sunday I said, I can do this. And I sent them all my information. And they're still looking for people till the middle of November. So I don't expect to hear from them till sometime in November or December. But they travel for 3 months at a time. And they pay pretty well. So I'm really hoping that, I'm not in it for the money anyway, but yeah, it would be.
It would be nice.
I think it's my ultimate, what I would love to do. And the thing is, even if I only do it for, a couple months, I can say I did it. One of my biggest things about being a musician is I feel that I've never been able to play on a giant stage like this. I've played on bars, and I've played in, the biggest place I played was the Grange Fair. That had 80,000 people, but I didn't play for 80,000 people. I played for whoever was at the stand that we played at. I want to I want to feel like a legit rock star. I want to feel like that this is what what I've always wanted to do. I want to be able to play that. And to me, that would be the ultimate, to be able to say I did that. And I think it would be awesome to do this. This would be, I mean, I don't need to do this for the rest of my life, but boy, what a way to get credibility. Be able to play in a thing like this. And then when I go to Hollywood and I say, hey, I've done this, and I can show that I was a real musician, I could show that I have credibility and stuff. And if I like it, why wouldn't I do it till I was done with that? My music career is not going to last forever. And it'd be fun if I got something like this going. But this is this is freaking awesome that this kind of thing is what I really wanted. I don't care about the orchestra. Oh, hold on. Anyway, so they have these, I looked at these pictures here that, they have these different, they have these backgrounds and everything. A real production. This is not just people singing and playing on stage. This is a production. This is kind of like, I always thought about putting together a rock opera, like Tommy or something like that. This is on the level of something like that I would love to be able to put together something. And they said that they gave names of bands that they want to feature, but they said, depending on the vocalist, they would cater to that vocalist too. So for me, it would be like maybe a lot of Aerosmith, because I do a lot of Aerosmith. Or it would be, kind of whatever I am good at, they would build the show around that. And to me, this is just awesome. When I saw this, I was like, this is what I want. Look at that stadium. That's the kind of place I want to play. I don't want to play these little dingy dives anymore, And the thing is, they've got a big crew that they got to pay off, and they've got dates in the UK. They've got dates all across the United States. I actually have the website of. Here it is. So this is the tour dates: December 1st, Boston; December 2nd, Albany, New York; December 3rd, Springfield, Massachusetts; December 4th, York, Pennsylvania. They're all over the place, and it's all over the country. And they also, like I said, are in the UK and stuff. So
you and Christine should go to York.
I would just love to go and see everything. Here's Idaho, South Dakota, Fresno, Bakersfield, Riverside, California, Santa Barbara, and they're all like, I was looking at the ticket prices and stuff, and they are everywhere. They're all over the place, and I just think it's really cool. And like, they're doing Metallica, AC/DC, Rolling Stones, Rage Against the Machine, Chemical Romance, Linkin Park, Guns N' Roses, Evanescence, Papa Roach, Cranberries, and more. I do more. And
well, I really like it when there's an orchestra behind.
Yeah, it gives a different feel for the song too.
And I've seen Heart.
Oh yeah.
Do Stairway to Heaven.
Yes, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was one. Is that the one that Robert Plant and Jimmy Page were in the audience?
Yeah, they have a tux on and they're in the audience and they're crying. They're crying listening to it.
Because Heart does.
Because Heart did it so well.
Yes, because even Robert Plant couldn't sing that way live. If you ever listen to the live versions of things, he sung it totally different than the album, and that's because we just can't sing that way. We're guys. We can't sing that high. And as much as they tried to do it, I do. Been a long time since I rock and roll. I do it the way he does the live version, because the live version is a lot easier to sing, and so that's the cool stuff about that. But I really want to do this. I really, really want to do this, and it's not about the money. It's just about this is what, I mean, if I had to say one thing that I wanted to do all my life, this is it. This is exactly what I wanted to do all my life. And the fact that I could do this and play rock and roll music, even if I only did it just one tour, just the fact that I could say I did it. And now that I weigh a reasonable amount, I could probably do it because I wouldn't have to worry about keeling over with a heart attack. But I just think it would be awesome to do that. And if they called me and said, "You want to do this?" I would, without a doubt. I mean, here's their Instagram, because they have different pictures and stuff. But it's like really awesome when I look at this stuff. This is just, it's a show. It's not just a concert. It's a show. And I think about the special effects they're using to pull off some of this stuff. They're spending a lot of time on their stage show. And I just think it would be awesome to be part of that. I looked at this and I said, this is what my calling has always been. I don't know about the weird outfits they're wearing, but, just the idea that I could go out there and play music for a living, to say I'm a professional musician and I actually, do it. And it would help my credibility on the other stuff I want to do. So, I don't know. It's, we're going to see what happens, but I got some, I'm going
to have to cover your radio show.
Yeah. I'll tell them I have to have Tuesdays off. We won't do any Tuesday shows. No, I mean, but whatever it takes is, for that first tour, that would just, man, that's a fantasy come true. All my life, that's all I've ever wanted to do. And here's my opportunity that if they pick me, I'm going to be there. I think I could do the job, and I think I would love to do the job. So, Netflix is going to do a new thing. They're going to do what YouTube has been doing for a long time, kind of. They're going to do a social media clips feature. So what that means is they're going to allow you to share clips that you like from moments from a film or something, and you're going to be able to share them with other people. Or watch them again yourself. Kind of interesting. Everyone's going to that model of allowing or sharing things. So that's going to be kind of cool too.
That's because people's attention span is about 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's where our biggest hits have taken, the ones that we've done have been, the ones we've done best with are our obituaries, and that's because the attention span has to be 3 minutes, So, Terry Card. Okay, so that's about. Oh, there's going to be a Jumanji 3 that's coming out December 2026, apparently. I don't know if you saw the first two, but I liked Jumanji. It was okay. Okay, you have the floor.
Do you remember, it was just about a week and a half ago, when Trump started talking about the enemy within?
Kinda.
Well, he was talking about Schiff. And Schiff is a guy that got him convicted of the Russian hoax.
Oh.
He was a congressman,
Okay.
the House of Representatives, and Adam Schiff.
Okay.
But what happened is that the media changed it to, here we have a guy ascribing nicknames, threatening people, and threatening the military to go after American citizens, the enemy within.
Okay.
So in other words, this was another thing that Trump said that's gotten totally taken out of context and turned on it. And only reason I'm bringing this up is that there is an enemy within this country. And one is dark money.
Dark.
You know that Zuckerberg put $300 million into the last election,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and nobody knows where that money went.
Oh, okay.
There's been no investigation, no nothing, and the money is not tracked, and nobody knows what he paid for. Soros has put $32 billion into U.S. Elections plus non-profs, right?
Wow.
He's funding all these left-wing radical organizations. He also funded to get the, you know that the DA in Los Angeles doesn't prosecute crime.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he doesn't prosecute crime,
Okay.
and he lets people out of jail.
Okay.
I mean, he'll prosecute a murder, he'll do that kind of stuff, but he won't prosecute looting. He won't prosecute breaking and entering. He won't prosecute marijuana convictions, although I think California, that's not an issue anymore. But because they believe that the system is rigged against the black community and the Hispanic community. And so they're not responsible for what they do.
Wow.
Soros is putting money into it. So that's one. The other one is Congress. Nancy Pelosi was the head of Congress,
Okay.
the Democratic Party. She was the speaker. And she would tell all the Democrats, you either do what I say or I'm going to cut your money off.
Okay.
And so Democrats don't go there and say, I believe we ought to do this or I believe we ought to do this. They go there and say, Pelosi wants me to do this, so this is what I'm going to do. So one woman is controlling everything the Democrats do.
Wow.
Everything. And that's an enemy.
Yeah.
Because there's no going across the aisle and trying to work on things together. You know, it's just these things are really a problem. You know, and then there's the media, the corporate media, and the corporate media tries to twist everything. They are left wing, and they want Democrats to win. And so they will twist everything, and they did it with this common enemy within. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I want to make sure that people understand that these people hate democracy. They don't like the First Amendment. They don't like that you can say anything you want and be protected by the First Amendment.
Okay.
So they hate Musk because he allows people of disreputable nature to speak on X. He doesn't take them down. So neo-Nazis can speak on X.
Yeah.
Klansmen can speak on X. Right?
Right.
Because it's free speech. That's what our country was founded on, is free speech. And these people want to take it away. And that's the danger. Because if we lose free speech, we're not any better than China.
Right.
Or Cuba, or Venezuela, or Russia. In Russia, try to say something against Putin and see what happens to you. You get killed.
Right.
Right? So that's where the left is taking us.
Wow.
That's why I can't vote for Kamala no matter how bad Trump ticks me off.
Okay.
My choice is vote for Trump or vote for no one.
Right.
Because Kamala is extremely left-wing. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm stuck with don't vote vote for a third-party candidate, which is throwing your vote away, or voting for Trump.
Which reminds me, there's another article that came out today about that, where they won't take RFK off the ballot in,
Yes.
I don't remember which state it was, but I know it was one of the states.
Well, there's 3 states, and I can't tell you what they are. But
I can tell you in my notes here. I did have that somewhere. I don't know if I put that in. Maybe I put that in. I hope I didn't delete that already. I thought it was really strange that they wouldn't take him off the ballot.
Because he didn't make the deadline. See, what he wanted to do was he wants to stay on the ballot in states, blue states that are going to vote Democratic, no matter what happens. He wants to stay on there and get enough votes to get 5% of the vote.
Okay.
Because if you can get 5% of the vote, you can be a third party.
Oh, okay.
So he wants off states that are going to go red because he doesn't want to take any votes away from Trump.
What do you think of him?
Kennedy?
Yeah.
He's very liberal. He's a champion of health and welfare.
Okay.
He's a non-vaxxer, and which will make my daughter Rashenda happy because she doesn't believe in vaccinations.
Yeah.
And he's going to get either the CDC, or if Trump wins, or he's going to get the Department of Health and Welfare.
Okay.
Because that's his 2 strengths. And Trump is for this. So this is a liberal cause that Trump is for.
Okay.
Getting red dye out of our food, getting other things out of our food that Europe has had out for years that we still put in our food. And it harms us. It harms the kids. And I can tell the difference with Lakin, the soon-to-be 7-year-old grandson, because when he gets a bunch of red dye, he's impossible to deal with.
Huh.
And sugar content?
Yeah.
It's bad. And you look at food, my daughter's going through this now, where she looks at just food you wouldn't think has sugar in it, has tons of sugar in it. And it's bad for me because I'm diabetic. And I try to eliminate, well, I had ice cream today, I have to tell you, but I usually try to keep sugar out of my diet.
Yeah.
Right? But I can't because it's in everything.
Okay. Christine says that wants to get off of the Michigan ballot and Wisconsin ballot.
Okay, that's right.
Hi, Norman. Good to see you. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Doug, you're preaching to the choir. I understand the food issues so well. Yeah, the stuff you're talking about, Christine has a fight every day. I mean, she has to worry about, she's got all kinds of weird allergies that are weird. Yeah, it has to be, I guess it's an allergy, that she has to be careful of what she eats and how she eats it. And there's like, she gets breakouts in her arms and stuff, and it's now that she's not eating that stuff, it's all going away. And it's just finding out what the reactions are from and trying to avoid what the problem is. So she has a doctor working with her so she can get through that stuff. But that's just crazy stuff. And see, someone like me, I don't understand that because I can eat pretty much whatever I want and not have any reactions to it. So when she says, well, I can't eat that because, I have a reaction to it, I'm thinking, wow, I just can't imagine that kind of stuff because I've never had that kind of thing. But it's really strange to think that you would have to worry about the things you're talking about, the diabetic, finding things that are in sugar that you don't know is sugary or, and sometimes she'll not know when she ate something that she wasn't supposed to because, she didn't know that they had that in that. So it's yeah.
Well, Christine, my daughter has CISD or CSID. I can't remember which way it goes, but she is really limited on what she can eat because she gets sick
Oh.
and she gets in pain. Her stomach
Yeah.
reacts in pain when she eats this stuff, and she's working with a nutritionist, and she can't go out to eat in restaurants.
That's crazy.
If her mom's groups are doing a dinner, she has to bring her own food.
Yeah. At this point, when we go out to eat, she brings her own food too. We don't go out to eat that much because I've been busy and crazy busy. So, but last time we went out to eat, she brought her own salad.
Yeah.
It's like that's. I never really thought about any of that stuff because I've never had that issue. But it's crazy to think that you have to worry about things like that because, if you're me, you've never had that issue. And so when I hear this from other people, I'm like, what do you mean you can't eat this? Because, it's weird. It's weird for me to think of. But yeah, that's an interesting thing.
So anyhow, he's a champion of this stuff.
Okay.
And Trump is all for it.
Okay.
So, he's got a cabinet position, and he's going to be allowed to really work on this. So I'm glad he's there because this is because of Rashenda. This has brought it, and Christine has brought it to your mind,
Right?
And Rashenda has brought it to my mind how bad this can be,
Yeah.
and how much suffering that goes on.
I
you read something wrong and you pay for it.
Yeah, I've understood that you could do that by overeating or by things like that because I was always an overeater. So but I never realized it was actually, people that are allergic to things like this and causing reactions that way. So it's kind of eye opener to me. So yeah.
Well, I can't eat anything spicy.
Okay.
Or I won't leave the toilet for a week. I just can't do it. So anywhere I go, I have to say, make sure that you're limited in spices.
Yeah. And see, for me, I love spices. I'm a spicy type guy. She says congenital sucrase isomaltase efficiency, CSID. So it's not an efficiency, but a deficiency. So
yes,
yeah. So that's kind of stuff that I never would have crossed my mind because I've never had that. I've always had a problem of eating too much. That was my biggest thing. But I never had any kind of allergies or anything. And it's so weird for me to think of things like that because I've never had to deal with them. But I've had friends that had to deal with them. I thought, oh, it's on their head. Well, it wasn't until I met her and saw some of the stuff that she's gone through that I thought, okay, maybe there's more to this than I thought. And, I feel for her. But, yeah, it's kind of weird how that all works. All right. What else you got?
The only other thing I have is a comparison on like government spending, money in your pocket, immigration, inflation, the difference between Harris and Trump. And I don't know if this
is the time to do it because the election's next week. So
go for it.
If you're going to do it now.
All right.
Won't matter once the election's over.
If Kamala gets in office, she's going to raise the deficit about $3.5 trillion.
Oof.
But if Trump gets in office, some economists believe he could raise it as much as $7 trillion.
Wow.
Because what Trump's talking about, the tax breaks and the tariffs and all that, it's going to raise the debt.
Wow.
He was a big spender in his first term.
Yeah.
Now, he had COVID to deal with, too, so a lot of that was COVID-related, but he raised the debt. Money in your pocket, Trump will cut taxes, try to stimulate higher real wage growth, like he did in the Oval Office before. Harris, people will have continued pain because when they tax corporations and when they tax the rich just move their money overseas or move their whole family overseas. The rich will not pay high taxes.
Interesting.
They won't do it. And you can't collect from somebody whose money is all overseas.
Yeah.
And, and they won't move their money back to the United States. Corporations will do the same. They'll stick their profits over in countries that have low taxes and never move it back. And that money is just in another country earning interest and can't tax it.
Wow.
So, and that money and the taxes that corporations do have to pay, they're not going to suffer because they're going to pass it on to the consumer.
Right.
Their product is going to go up in price, or the product is going to shrink in the bag, shrinkflation.
Okay.
Haven't you bought stuff that's a lot smaller than it used to be?
Oh yeah, everything. I mean, think of the even if you just talk about hamburgers, for instance. I mean, I remember when the Whopper actually did take 2 hands to handle, and the ones now, they don't. They're just regular hamburgers, Yeah, but everything, it's crazy about that. I never, it's just one of those things that it's like your candy bar. You buy a candy bar. It used to be a big candy bar, and now the big size is a little candy bar. And the fun size are even smaller than they were before. So, yeah, everything just got smaller and got more expensive.
So the people she's going after, they're not going to pay it.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll pay it but pass it on, or their money's going overseas.
Yeah.
So rich people don't pay big taxes.
Yeah.
They have CPAs and lawyers and accountants that move that money. They know where to stick it so that the United States government can't get at it. You and I don't have that ability, but they do. So saying you're going to tax the rich to pay for everything, plus there isn't enough wealth in this country to pay for everything she wants to do.
Right.
So, even if they tax them at 75%, there's not enough money.
Right.
So that's just a phrase to use because people say, yeah, tax the rich. There you go. That's a great idea. Lower my taxes and tax the rich. Well, it doesn't work that way. And she'll raise the debt. It's estimated about 3.5, and Trump's worse.
Yeah.
So now we go to immigration, and Kamala won't do much.
No, I don't expect her to.
And she's going to go to amnesty.
Okay.
So Trump wants to punish Mexico if they don't stop the migrant flow. And he wants to deport the migrants who entered illegally. Now, some economists say that's a problem because migrants work at jobs that American workers will not work at.
Well, yeah, but a big piece of that is because the migrant workers work so cheap versus,
that's right.
Because the Americans need to make money.
When we put a roof on our house, it was a whole Mexican crew couldn't speak English, and they worked their butt offs. Yeah. But I'm sure they didn't get paid like an American working a roof.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. That's
inflation. Kamala doesn't know anything about economics.
Yeah. She doesn't know a whole lot about everything.
So Trump is going to bring down energy and buy prices. Trump has a huge advantage in inflation. He'll do the right thing because he did it in his first presidency, so he's going to be able to do it again.
Yeah.
Woke policies. Trump is not woke.
No.
But Kamala is. she's a DEI vice president. You know what DEI is?
Yeah.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes.
And because Biden said the vice president's going to be a black woman, and there wasn't too much to choose from.
Yeah, well,
But
he didn't get the black woman.
No, he got an Indian. So, and she wants to undermine parental rights. This is a big problem for me. What she wants is what's happening now, is that teenagers who want to have sex change operations
Right.
can get them without parental permission.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't agree with that. I am pro trans. I don't have problems with trans people, but yeah, it's got to be done the right way.
Well, parents should have a say until it's at least 16, if not 18.
Yeah.
And but they're given hormones treatments to kids that are 9, 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Without permission, without parental consent, and that's just wrong.
I don't know how that could even happen, because with you always know, or should know, your children's medical stuff, because it's not like I can keep my wife away from, if I had a wife, could keep my wife away from seeing my medical records by signing something, but kids don't have that right. So I don't know how they get away with doing it.
Well, she'll make sure that's enshrined in law.
Yeah.
So it's another reason why I can't vote for it.
Yeah.
Right. Law and order. So there's a lot of studies coming out that say marijuana is addictive.
Okay.
And it's not good for you long term.
See, I've
It
not.
messes with brain chemistry.
Okay, I've not heard that, but that's not a.
And there's just as much crime. It
Yeah.
hasn't stopped the crime.
Well, that's
Because
it
people don't
does-
want to pay. You go into a dispensary and that's expensive.
Yeah, but you get what you pay for. You don't get
You
laced.
get what you pay for, but it's still expensive.
You don't get something laced with fentanyl or something. Strange things like that. So that's the one thing that is good about it, is that it does eliminate that what's in it factor. And that it's actually, now I don't smoke, so I don't really know much about marijuana smoking, but I'm told that it's purer and it is better for the effects. A lack of anything better to, that you're it's more potent than street stuff. At least that's what I'm told. I don't know, because I don't smoke.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know about that, but I do know this. When I was doing medical marijuana, I was buying my pot from a woman in Oregon who worked at a pot farm and was allowed to take remnants home. And they're not as potent as the buds, but they're still potent.
Yeah.
And I was buying it and having it shipped across country.
Wow.
And which, depending on what state catches you,
Yeah.
it's a big problem. Anyhow, but I did it because I couldn't afford the dispensary prices.
Yeah. It was cheaper after having it shipped?
Yes. Well, she would sell a brick, which is a pound. She would sell a brick for $150 for remnants. And that would last me 6 months.
Oh. Okay.
So, because, you get about 12 ounces out of it, and maybe not 12, I can't remember exactly, but you get a bunch of ounces out of it, and I didn't go through an ounce that fast.
Yeah.
So, it was economical for me, but I got addicted. I abused it. So.
Oh, okay. That's you.
That's me. I got an addictive personality.
See, for me,
so
I only do a pill a night to sleep, and that's all I do. And it doesn't. I don't think I get addicted to any. I mean, so far, I don't get addicted to anything that I've had. So even when I was doing 6 Percocet a day, when I had to quit for that year that I quit, I weaned myself off of it, and I never had any addiction issues with it. So, I guess I'm lucky in that way because I didn't have any issues with having to get it out of my system and stuff. But and I know there are people that have to go to detox and all that stuff, and it was just, the doctor that I went to was thinking I was going to have to detox because I had been taking it for 10 years, and I said, well, I don't mind being off of it, but what are you going to fix it with? Once we're gone, how are we going to get rid of the pain? Well, we'll deal with that later. And I said, well, now that we're off of it, he goes, well, I'm done with you now. I said, what do you mean you're done with me? You didn't do anything except tell me I have to get off of it, and I got off of it like you want it, and I'm still in pain. You haven't fixed that problem. So I spent the next year overdosing on Tylenol and stuff like that, taking 16, 20 pills a day. And then my family doctor said, or the nurse said, do you need a refill? I said, a refill on what? On your Percocet. I said, well, I thought I wasn't allowed to take it anymore, so I've been taking other stuff. And she goes, oh, well, I think you could probably still get it. And I had a discussion with my doctor then, and he prescribed it instead of making me go to a pain specialist. It took me 6 months to get a new pain specialist because there are so few of them. So it was just a real pain to get it was a pain to get a pain specialist. And so he does it. Now I get a week's supply, which I make last 2 weeks, and everybody's happy. So I'm able to live with my pain now, and I don't abuse it. And
how can you stretch it 2 weeks, Mike?
Because he prescribes me 6 pain pills a day, and I only take 3. So
okay,
it works out, and that's good for me. Hey, my sister's in there. Oh, Doug is a bad boy. I don't know what you said it was bad, but my sister just called you a bad boy. Bad boy, what you gonna do?
I would have made the news. Preacher gets arrested for transporting pot across state lines.
Now we know why you go to those prisons. Yeah.
Well, I shipped it FedEx because I don't think they use dogs. So that's
I will tell you something.
I
will tell you a story that is scary, and it's a true story. My brother, when he was taking, what was he was taking? Methamphetamine. He was getting it from California, and he was getting it shipped, and it came FedEx. The one time it didn't come to his door, it came to his neighbor's door, who opened it and saw it was meth and reported to the police. So the police boxed it back up, sat it on his doorstep. When he went to get it, he picked up the box, he opened the box, saw what it was. He tells me he threw it away. But he all of a sudden got busted by the police. It was like watching Chicago PD. They busted the door down.
Yeah, there was a sting on it.
Yes, it was, and they had everybody laying on the ground, and they found the box wherever it was, if it was in the garbage or whatever. And he almost went to jail. He spent a lot of money staying out of jail, and he ended up dying at 53. And it probably had a lot to do with the stuff he was doing. I'll tell you, I would never have done methamphetamine. I don't even like doing the pot stuff, but it's a pill, so I'm doing it at nighttime to go to sleep. So, and it helps me sleep. And for the first time in 30 years, I actually dream again. I feel much more refreshed when I wake up because my mind isn't stuck in that non-dreaming state. So I don't know.
Well,
I don't have any
I tell
problems
my
with
guys, go ahead.
I don't have any problems with pot because it's basically nobody gets hurt with it. You know, people take it. There's a lot of people that take a lot of it, and more power to them. If they were to take a drug, I would rather they take that drug than they take meth or they take a lot of the really bad drugs. And if done in the right way, it harms no one. It's a victimless crime. So, I don't know.
I drove twice while I was smoking.
Okay.
While I was only twice. The first time I sat at a green light and looked at the green light and thought it was really pretty, and I just stared at it. And then it went red, and I thought that was pretty, and I just sat there. And then it went green again, and I sat there. It was late at night, no one was around, but it took me a while to realize I was supposed to go. And then I went on the red light.
Oh, then you went on a red light?
Then I turned on the red light.
Well, that's because
you
like the green, but you didn't like the red, you know? So that makes sense. Oh.
And then the other time, I tried to negotiate a left turn and ended up on the sidewalk.
Oh, well. Oh, man.
So I decided I probably shouldn't drive.
That's probably a good idea. It's probably not a good thing. Oh,
I tell my guys at the center, I said, you guys are here, you're protected, there's no drugs here that we know of, it's cool, you're in here, you're detoxing, you're getting healthy. I said, it's all good, but you're going to walk back out there and you're going to be tempted, and there's fentanyl.
Yeah.
And you're not going to know when you do stuff, you're not going to know what has fentanyl in it and what doesn't.
That's correct. Yep.
And now it wasn't in my day. It wasn't like this. But now, right, you can die easy.
Well, I told you about my one.
Real quick.
I told you about my one time that I did fentanyl stuff, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there was one time they prescribed Pam with patches, fentanyl patches, and I was having such bad pain, and I didn't have any Percocet at that point, and she said, "Here, take one of these fentanyl patches." And I said, "Well, I don't really need that." She goes, "Try it; it'll work." So I put the fentanyl patch on, and I drove to a friend. I was going to a friend's house, and while I was driving, I was like, I started feeling really sick, so I pulled over, and I couldn't figure out what was going on because I don't ever get sick. I mean, it's really rare when I get sick, and eventually I figured out it's the fentanyl patch. So I ripped the fentanyl patch off. And because when I was driving, I was like really feeling weird, and I pulled over. And when I figured out it was fentanyl patch, I ripped off the fentanyl patch, and I sat back, and I just breathed fine. And about 5 minutes later, I was okay. I was like, okay, we're never going to do that again. So, that's just that fentanyl stuff really scares me. The one time I used it, it was bad stuff. And that's what killed her. I think that's one of the things that killed her, was those fentanyl patches. So
that could very well be because fentanyl is so dangerous.
Yes, and I don't think they knew back then how dangerous it was. Because now there's things in the news about it all the time, but back then there wasn't much in the news about it. But
these guys are playing with their lives.
Yeah.
And the addiction is so strong they don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them, I'm getting to know them, I'm getting to like them, clean and sober. I'm getting to like them, and they're becoming almost friends. And then they go out, and then this doesn't happen often, but it happens. Then you find out they died of fentanyl overdose.
Right.
And it hurts. And, this ministry that I'm in with drugs and alcohol, it's a hard ministry.
Oh, it would be. Yeah.
It's a hard ministry. You got to have the right kind of temperament and thick skin.
Yeah.
Because it's bad. So it's fentanyl. fentanyl's the thing that's killing them. I mean, some die of a heroin overdose,
Right.
but most of the time it's whatever they're doing, it's laced with fentanyl.
Yep.
And that kills them. It's
Well,
a dangerous thing.
I'm thankful that I don't have an addiction issue, because, man, all the things like food addiction was the biggest one I had, and that would be the closest I could relate to that, because I used to definitely be addicted to food, and it wasn't until Ken died that I actually broke that addiction, and it was by accident. It was just, not something I would have ever thought of, but now I'm I'm doing okay, but I'm fortunate that I do not get addicted to things, and I know that there are people that are highly addicted to things, and they're addicted to the feeling and this. But one thing that I noticed that was, I guess the closest I was to addiction was not the feeling, but the routine of taking something. Like if you kept taking, like when I was able to stop taking the Percocet, I would split the pills then, and I would split them again, and I'd split them again. It's the frequency that I would take them that I was addicted to. It wasn't the actual pill. So once I figured that out, I said, well, wait a minute. If it's the frequency, then it probably isn't the pill at all. That means I could probably take Tylenol in its place, and it would still meet that connection for me. And that was true. And so I wasn't addicted to the pill. I was addicted to the frequency of the pill, which was weird. I don't know. I'm just thankful I don't have that problem. I know a lot of people do, and I know that it's an issue, and it continues to be an issue for a lot of people. But it's a shame. Yeah.
Law and Order. Kamala, she supports no bail.
No bail? Jeez.
No bail. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Murderers and rapists can get out of jail and go back out in the streets awaiting trial. And really bad. She believes in leniency for many active criminals. It's not their fault. So she sides on the criminal side of it's not their fault they are the way they are. Well, Trump wants to throw them away and lock the key.
Yeah,
you know.
Talk about one extreme to the other. It's crazy.
You can't get more extreme than these two. And he wants to punish sanctuary cities that won't work with ICE.
Okay.
And they don't enforce the law, and he's wants to take federal grants away from them. And so he's it's just different. If you're into law and order, you can't vote for Kamala. It just won't happen. Abortion. Kamala is for abortion for any time, for any reason. And Trump just wants the states to handle it. He doesn't want to touch it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then foreign policy, Harris has no clear view as to how to confront evil.
She needs to look in the mirror first.
And other bad countries want her to win.
Yeah, I bet they do. Jeez.
Because they'll take advantage of it.
Oh, I know, and that's what scares me. That's the thing, I don't have anything against her personally, but just seeing how she reacts under pressure, or not even pressure, just an interview, that concerns me a lot, that she can't answer questions without her earphone or whatever it is that she was doing. And I saw a video where her teleprompter went down. She was panicking, and you could tell she was panicking. Trump wouldn't panic. He would just keep talking. But, that's the thing. I don't have a problem with someone other than Trump, as long as that someone other than Trump can talk and can actually think and isn't weak. She's weak, and I don't want a weak president. We're going to get taken advantage of by everybody.
Well, See, I can't vote for her again because of abortion stance,
Okay.
and because it's anywhere, anytime, for any reason.
Right.
You know, if it was I like Bill Clinton's position. It should be rare.
Yeah.
And I know there are instances where the mom feels it's the only option, but it should be rare. And I have a real problem with abortion. So, you know, I just can't. There's a couple things in here that I could vote for. I don't care. There's other things in here that I can't vote for.
Right.
And it's a problem. And then it gets down to demeanor. She's befuddled, and it depends on the day for Trump.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the next speaking engagement, he can get in all kinds of trouble.
Right. Yep.
And that's one of my problems with Trump. It's really hard to vote for him
Yes.
because he gives nasty nicknames to people and demeans them.
Right.
And it's just not presidential.
No. But he's not a politician.
No, he's not.
And the one thing I do like about him is he's not a politician. He is able to think beyond the political things. But, you know, I just...
He would be the first non-political or military president. You know what I mean by military? Dwight Eisenhower was a general.
Yep.
Okay. George Washington was a general. It's either a politician or a military officer. Trump was the first president that was not any of that. He was a private citizen until he got the presidency. He was the first.
But originally, the intent of the presidency was to not be a politician, was to be a general person. Of course, that's not really realistic nowadays, but that was the purpose of the system, was to not be a politician, was to be a regular person, not to be able to take advantage of the people the way the king would take, you know.
Now, in the Salvation Army, we have a general. He resides in London, England, and he oversees the Salvation Army around the world. We're in 136 countries now.
Wow.
And he oversees everything, right? And the general is always a colonel. But the rule is that anybody can be general. You don't have to be a colonel to be a general.
Okay.
You don't have to be a territorial commander to assume general. But it has never happened. And that's what the presidency is. You can be anybody, but it's never happened until Trump.
Right. Yeah. All I can say is it's going to be an interesting election this year. And we'll have to see if the last thing is the death of Trump or not. I don't think it's going to be, because I think it's a little late in the election, but it's not over till it's over.
It's not over till it's over. And this joke really is, it's really spread far and wide.
Yeah, and it's been taken out of,
out of the context.
Yeah.
Trump didn't say it. It was an idiot. It was an idiot.
But he needs to address it. He needs to address it in his talk.
Strong and hard.
Yes. I know that Kamala's coming to Harrisburg again, or at least Pennsylvania, in the next couple days. And you know that that's what she's going to go aiming for. Because that's all she's got.
He's a fascist, and look at this joke.
Yeah.
Because she needs to win Hispanics back.
Yeah. Well, I'm concerned about it, and it just... but I understand if I was Hispanic. I mean, like I said, my friend was very upset about this, and I don't blame her. But that you can't base everything on that one statement, you know, especially since he didn't say it. So.
And then the quote that it doesn't cost $60,000 to bury an effing Mexican. Did you hear that?
No, but Now I did.
He never said it,
Oh,
but they're quoting it all over the place. What happened is there was a death, and it was a death of somebody, a woman, at the hands of an illegal. And so Trump went to the funeral and he said, "I'll pay for your funeral." Trump does this all the time, and he doesn't ask for publicity. People don't know this, but he's always doing these things. And so he said that I'll pay for the funeral, and the cost of the funeral was $60,000, right? And so the rumor went out, and it was a rumor. He never said it. People that were with him swear he never said it. So here's the thing. Mom came out and said that Donald Trump was the nicest person and consoled her and paid for the funeral without complaint. And the daughter was on, I don't know what, probably Fox. It was probably Fox. But anyhow, she said, "I voted for Trump this morning." So if he would have said that, why would they go vote for Trump?
right.
But yet it's being used against him. He can't, even when he opens his mouth, he gets in trouble enough by opening up his mouth.
Yes, he does.
But to lie, blatantly lie about stuff like this, it's even worse. Because he opens up his mouth, people believe he said it.
Right. And that's
His reputation is shot in this area.
yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. I'll just be glad when this is over.
Did you vote already? Because
I did not. I was supposed to. I got my mail-in thing, and I was supposed to send it off. I guess today was the last day I was supposed to send it off.
29. Yeah.
So I'll probably have to. I don't know. I can't. I just. What? Somebody else wants me to vote. He's sitting here bugging me. This dog climbing up my arms. You can't see him because he's white and he blends in with the background. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just it's something that I gotta make a decision on now, and I know I'm not gonna vote for Kamala. I just don't know if I can justify voting for him now because I don't.
It's tough, Mike.
It's tough because if there was anybody else I could choose from, that's who I would choose. If we had somebody else that has not insulted everybody in the world and who is not very strong. So I have a choice between somebody that's too strong and someone who's not strong enough. So it's tough. So I won't vote for her. But I don't know if I can vote for him now because I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think you know who I can't vote for.
Yeah.
But the choice for me was, do I vote at all for president or do I vote for Trump?
Yeah, well,
that was my choice.
That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. Is that I know he can do the job. I know that he I don't agree with everything he does, but it says here, well, the second husband smoked it every day. Oh, that's about the marijuana. So, yeah, I mean, it's like it's one of those things that my convictions are I can't vote for her, and I have issues with him. But they're the only two choices, and if I had a choice between,
it's terrible.
It's like and it's funny because I wrote something on Facebook the other day that I figured somebody would take it wrong and it would come to bite me, but it was like let me see if I can find the actual post. A friend of mine named John wrote a thing about he's tired of the crap that everybody is either strongly one way or the other, and to a point that let's see, this is the wrong keyboard. The other keyboard is the one I need. Hey, dog, you need to move. I need my keyboard. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we grab this. I want to read it, and you tell me if you think this post that I was reacting to somebody's post. And the post was, I'm tired of the fighting, basically. Let's see. Oh, here it is. So oh, geez, he's got 81 comments on it now. He says, how do intelligent Republicans get to the point where they don't care what Pontus 45 says? I won't utter his name. Know that they see Democrats using the same VP Harris. I believe it's the fact that the media is so dominant and liberal agenda that Republicans feel constantly attacked. Now feel that quietly for decades and ask yourself what the countermeasure would be. If you're not sure, look around you. There are tons of logic and ethic on the infected. Wait a minute, make sure this is the right one. Got to make sure this is the one I commented on. Hold on. Oh, yep, that's the one. Yeah, so that's the one that. Well, anyway, I wrote this. I'm embarrassed by both sides that we have to choose between bad or worse. This isn't a win on the other side because, as usual, it isn't pick the best candidate. It's pick the one who's going to do the least damage. Sadly, the truth is that the best candidate isn't running, and it becomes a popularity contest. And when it's a popularity contest, we see how low the other person can go. I hate name calling and accusations. It's just just say what you can do and let us decide, not be juvenile with the name calling and finger pointing. Okay, so that's a simple enough thing. I don't think there's anything threatening. There's nothing. I didn't say I was going to vote for anybody. I didn't say I was going to vote. I didn't say either candidate was my favorite or worse. Okay? Did that sound okay? Did it sound like...
That sounded fine, Mike.
Okay, so
because both candidates have slipped into the mud.
So the response I get, and I wasn't asking for a response, says, I'm not buying that both sides are the same bit. Trump is nothing but a racist a-hole stirring the pot for his and his crony benefits. And I said, no, I didn't say they were both the same. What I meant was we could have a control freak that thinks he knows it all, or a bumbling idiot that everyone will walk all over. This is they are complete opposites. And then another person says, amen. So she agrees with me. And then another one says, I agree. But here we are. If 45 gets elected, or let's say 4S. Is it 45 or 4S? If 45 gets elected, we have to deal. We have to deal. No name calling can fix that. I assert that it's this constant nasty verbiage that's going to give them power. If we don't lose out every time the T word comes up, we will be stuck in this loop indefinitely, in my opinion. But this just kept going on, and all these people are responding to my thing. I didn't say that. I said they're complete opposites. And they're both bad opposites. They're both the worst of the worst. And but, this is why I don't even say my opinion most of the time, because people take that and run with it. They see what they see, and it doesn't matter what I actually said, because they see what they want to see. And that's conflict, because they're continuing a conflict that I said I didn't want the conflict. So that's why I usually keep it to myself and I don't say things.
I got off of Facebook a long time ago.
Well, that was the smartest thing. That's the smartest thing. And the thing is, I don't give my opinions on things because it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It matters what each individual thinks, and everybody's always the only one that's right. So that's why I don't really tell people what I think. But anyway. Well, do you have any more on this? Are you?
Do you just one other? I have a question for you. Do you know what these generals are saying about Trump?
I don't.
Okay, what they're saying is about three generals that work for Trump, were close to Trump, that he said, I have admiration for Hitler. I would like our generals to be like his generals, loyal. The problem is they kept trying to kill Hitler
Yeah.
and stop him.
Yeah.
So loyalty was not an issue. And they're saying that he admires fascists. So that he fits the qualification of a fascist, and that he acts like a fascist in his deliberations. He wants to be a dictator, and that's carrying some weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
So
those terms.
these are people that work with him.
Yeah.
Why, the question is, why would they lie? And the only reason they would lie is that they're leftists and they're woke and they hate Trump, and so they're willing to say anything.
Right.
Anything. That's the only reason they would lie.
Yeah.
There's no one. Well, they could sell books. There's
Yeah.
another reason. Because that kind of stuff will sell a book.
Yeah. Well, that's true too. I don't know. I hate elections.
I'm glad. I'll be glad when it's over.
It should have been over a long time ago. It's just crazy. I almost would rather have Biden.
I hope the next election we get two mature people running against each other.
I would almost rather have Biden again. At least he's entertaining whenever he says something, At least I can have a little chuckle when he talks. But I don't know. Ugh. All right. Well, I'm going to. You're done, right?
I'm done.
Okay. There's a news article about the owner of the Dali container ship that crashed into the Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge. They have settled with them on what it's going to cost to that they're going to charge them for destroying the bridge. Any idea how much?
I heard the story, but I forget how much.
I'm actually surprised it's this low. It's $102 million.
102 million?
Yeah.
Boy, that's cheap. For
I really
repairing a
thought that
bridge.
was really cheap compared to what they're. Yeah, there it is. Agrees to pay $102 million for the cleanup. Well, that's for the cleanup. So.
That's not for building the new structure.
It says the construction project for the new one is going to cost close to $2 billion.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
And the Maryland has filed its own claim seeking those damages. But the $102 million was to settle
Just
a lawsuit by the Justice Department. So I really thought that was pretty cheap. But
I'd have settled at that. I mean, but that $2 billion they're going to try to collect from this company.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, isn't it China? Is it a Chinese company?
I don't know.
I think it is. Trying to find, does it say in here? Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a Chinese company, though. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But that I found that interesting. Do you remember a couple years ago there was a hate crime where a guy, a black man, was jogging and 3 Georgia men killed him? The guy's name was Ahmaud Arbery. The 3 men are seeking a new trial. And basically the 3 men confronted Arbery and said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, I live here." And they, supposedly they ended up killing the guy. The 3 Georgia men convicted of the 2020 killing of a 25-year-old jogger asked for a new trial in the murder case. I hope they do get a new case. I hope they do get a new trial, and I hope they get worse. because they had no reason to kill this guy. The attorney for Travis Michael, the man who delivered the deadly shot, appeared before Judge Timothy Walmsley, arguing that the jurors who convicted McMichael displayed bias and were tainted by outside influences and extraneous judicial information. During the proceedings, the defense attorney Pete Donaldson questioned a juror, known as Juror 380, about the day he bought a hot dog near a rally promoting justice for Aubrey near the Glynn County Courthouse, which was also near the juror's home. Juror 380 was the only black juror, insisted he did not discuss the case with anyone or break any of the rules. I said, I felt sorry for the family. After the court started, I felt sorry for both sides. And Juror 380 said that the witness on the witness stand Thursday, clarifying that he did not have any bias towards the defendants, as the defense attorney alleged. During the Three Men's Trial, 2021 trial, McMichael claimed that he and his father suspected Arbery who had been jogging through the neighborhood, had just burglarized a nearby home under construction. He testified that Aubrey resisted a citizen's arrest and attacked him after he, his father, Gregory McMichael, and their neighbor, William Bryan, chased him. McMichael was convicted on all 9 charges: malice, murder, 4 counts of felony murder, aggressive assault with a shotgun, aggressive assault with a pickup truck, false imprisonment, and criminal intent to commit a felony. He was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Gregory McMichael was also sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. The former Georgia police officer was found not guilty of malice murder, but was convicted on the remaining charges, including felony murder counts. Bryan was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole. He was found guilty of 3 of the felony murder charges, as well as charges of aggressive assault with a pickup truck, false imprisonment, and criminal intent to commit a felony. In the motion for a new trial in Bryan's case, his lawyer argued that his trial attorney was ineffective and there was reasonable probability of a different outcome. The 3 men were arrested after a cell phone video Bryan took of the confrontation that captured the part of the shooting was heavily used by the prosecutors and defense attorneys during the trial, was leaked to the media despite Bryan having turned it over to Glynn County Police on the day of the killing. The McMichaels and Bryan had all pleaded not guilty to the 9-count indictment. ABC has reached out for a comment from the legal teams on the request for the new trial. The 3 men have been convicted and sentenced on a federal hate crime charge. The McMichaels was sentenced to life in prison. Bryan was sentenced to 35 years. So I think that, from what I know of the case, I wouldn't change it. They definitely were targeting him because he was a black man. So I'm sorry, but they say there was no, why, there were 3 of them. They could have held the guy without shooting him. And there was no reason.
All they would have been charged is false imprisonment.
Right. And the guy had no prior issues. He's lived there for a while, so he was just jogging. So as far as I'm concerned.
This is what you do, Mike. You don't personally go after him, you call the police.
Yeah. You're not the police. You have no right to hold anyone, and if you see that there's, I don't know, it's just kind of, I hate when I see things like that, because there are still people out there that are evil. And I don't know. Then we have this other thing. This might be a good one to end on. A hoarder had 1,000-year-old coins unearthed in his field. No, I'm sorry, not a hoarder. A hoard of 1,000-year-old coins were unearthed in a field.
That's a little better.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different than a hoarder. But anyway, these 1,000-year-old coins unearthed in this field sold. How much do you think this 1,000-year coins would sell for?
I have no idea, Mike.
I had no idea either, but unearthed by a group of amateur metal detectorists in the Chew County area of Somerset, the hoard has been acquired by Southwest Heritage Trust for $5.5 million, with substantial funding from the National Lottery Heritage Fund. That's just crazy. 950-year-old coins. $5.6 million. Now I'm watching this show. It's in Canada, Oak Island, and they're looking for all kinds of stuff, and they're finding stuff that dates to like 700 AD. I mean, amazing that they're finding stuff that we can actually put through machines and tell us this thing is like this old. And I'm amazed by this stuff. And some of the stuff is just really simple stuff that it had to get to that island somehow. And they're supposedly that's where all these different theories are of where somebody stole this from this, and they all ended up in this island somewhere. And they're probably 14 years in. They still haven't found the treasure yet, but they found pieces of the treasure, pieces of things that lead to the fact that there was something going on in that island, and including parts of a ship. Supposedly, a ship was brought in there, turned on its side, and sunk to the bottom of this waterway in the island. They're finding pieces of that ship that are at least, 500 years old, maybe more. And so there's parts of this story that are absolutely true. So I want to see them find something big. But it is a pretty cool show to watch. So anyway, all right, well, I can go on forever because I got lots of stories, but it's getting late. It's after 10 now. So if you want to keep going, we can keep going, or we can call it a night.
Call it a night.
It's a good number. We'll call it a night. I don't have anything let me just kind of look and see if there's anything that's there was something I wanted to say tonight. Let me see if I can find it. That's not anything. Well, we'll talk about the Electoral College next week. I thought there was something that I wanted to make sure I said this week, so hold on. Let me just scan through my stuff and make sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't. I thought I had something. Oh, what it was there was a the best dog Halloween costumes.
Oh, that would have been cool.
It's so that would be one that probably will not be good after this week. I don't think there's anything else.
I talked too long. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
That would have been a good one. Dogs, best dressed dogs. I would have enjoyed that.
Well, let's do that one.
Hey, we could do it. We could do it.
We'll do that one, and then we'll end on that. So,
yeah.
Because I kind of thought that it would be kind of cool to see that one because they have pictures of them. They're at Walmart, so for those of you that are looking for costumes for your dogs, starting at $10 only, and this was one of them. This is so funny. You see his legs, and then you see the dog's here, and he's a UPS delivery or USPS delivery. Oh, that was what it was. It was something. It was that was the one I wanted to do. Okay, I'll have to find that one of the. Let's see if it's the last one that I did. Yes, There is one other one that I want to do. I'll just do these real quick. Here's you can have a, let's see, are we doing this? Okay. Here's the next one. Halloween costume. It's I don't know what he is, a Western. You can have this Western costume if you want to dress your dog up like a Western. Here's one you can do a shark. You can have a shark dog. Then we got Robin. You can have a pumpkin dog.
Pumpkin, yeah, pumpkin.
Or
dog.
cat. We have a top chef.
There you go.
They picked the right dogs for these too. They're actually pretty good dogs. Maybe that's all of them. Let me see was that the last one? The dog was. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Oh, it says one more. There's one more after that. The chef. So, okay, we saw them all. The last one I want to do is this one. I told you about this at the beginning of the show. This was a person who got a chance to walk for the first time in their life. I thought this was worth it.
Yes, you were telling me about that.
Yes. This is awesome. If it ever shows up. Okay, let me make it big. Okay. This is a really interesting device because this girl has never walked before, and they have this device that hooks up to her and allows her to walk. It's really cool.
It's an exoskeleton.
Yes. And I'm sure that it's very expensive too. But how cool would it be if you're that person and you never got to walk before and you're actually walking for the first time? It just is and we're getting there. We're getting to the point where it's happening. It's going to happen. And if we get to a point where it's, affordable, that's the other thing. But, at least we got to get to the point where it happens first. So.
She probably gets it for free, Mike, because it's a trial.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe maybe. I don't know, but I just think it's awesome. And it's probably over in China I think China probably. So, I think it's really cool, and I want to see more things like this. So, anyway, here we go. That's it.
Here we go.
So we'll put this out, and we will now go to our exit eventually. As soon as it decides to exit. There we go. And, oops, where is it? This one. Oh, come on. Okay. And I think I determined I didn't have the outro on here, okay? I need to update this. All right, I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you for listening in. Hope you enjoyed the show.
It's gonna be okay.